the 1985 NCAA Division III Football Championship game from Phoenix Municipal Stadium in Phoenix City, Alabama. It's the Vikings of Augustana College against the Bombers of Ithaca College.
Tonight's game is brought to you in part by the First National Bank of the Quad Cities, members of Quad Cities First Company and FDIC. By True Value Hardware Stores. The more you've got to do, the more you need True Value Hardware Stores. They've got what it takes. By Hardee's, where good people go for good food. And by your John Deere dealers. Nothing runs like a deer.
It is a beautiful, sunny, and cold day here in Phoenix City, Alabama. The temperature is 31 degrees. There is no chance of rain. The rain is gone, but the cold air has moved in here in Alabama this afternoon. And a very pleasant good afternoon, everyone. I'm Mick Hubert, along with Steve Davis, the former Oklahoma Sooner quarterback. We're glad you're with us for this championship game today. It's Ithaca against Augustana. Two teams, Steve, that's going to decide the national championship right there on the field.
Yeah, and it's cold. I guarantee that wind is cold. I think the important thing is the Division I player, having played at Oklahoma, we had to win a national championship and determine it not by the field, by the press. We had to let the people that we couldn't control determine our destiny. I think what's important is these young men have a chance to come in and play two best teams in Division III, determine their own destiny and win a national championship. I think it's one of the greatest things that can happen in a young man's life, and someday it's going to happen for Division I.
Okay, we've got 16 teams that started this tournament some 4 weeks ago. There were only 8 teams that started the tournaments in previous years, but they expanded the field this year. The coaches wanted to do that. These two teams are the ones that emerged in this game.
Well, I think what's important about the expansion of the 16-team concept is the fact that now you really don't have any doubts whatsoever, because in the 8-team concept, there were teams that were left out that, you know, you just thought might have a chance, but now with 16 teams and to fight through and to play 4 games to win the national championship, that makes the difference.
Let's take a look and see how Ithaca got here. Their record is 11-1. They defeated Union in the regionals, then knocked off Montclair State in the quarterfinals, and had a big shutout victory last week when they knocked off Gettysburg by a score of 34-0. As for the Augustana Vikings, their record is perfect at 12-0. They defeated Albion in the regionals. They defeated Mount Union in the quarterfinals, and then defeated Central in the semifinals. The coaches are veterans, to say the least. For Ithaca, veteran Jim Butterfield is 58 years old, very impressive record, 153 wins, 53 losses, and just 1 tie. And I had an opportunity to ask Coach Butterfield what he was impressed the most with the Augustana team.
Well, certainly the most impressive thing is their very basic football game. They don't do anything fancy. They line up in their offensive formations and run at you and say, here we're coming, what you going to do about it? Defensively, they're extremely aggressive, and they're very basic there, too. Just a good, solid football team.
As for the Augustana Vikings, also a veteran coach, 53-year-old Bob Reed in his 7th year. What an outstanding record he has compiled at Augustana. He's got 68 wins, only 8 defeats. He, too, is impressed with the Ithaca Bombers.
Well, the thing that impresses me most about Ithaca is their balanced concept between offense and defense, and the fact that they play so basic, and they seem to just be sound, you know, in everything their approach to the game. They don't. I'm sure that all the games they've won, they haven't won any mirrors.
So those are the pregame comments of the 2 head coaches in this football game, the Augustana Vikings and the Ithaca Bombers. The kickoff coming up, but we'll have more pregame stats and stories in just a moment.
The sky turned to snow. All around the day was going down slow. Night like a river beginning to flow. I felt the beat of my mind go drifting into time passages. Yes, go falling in the fading light. Time passages.
Since our beginning in 1852, we have survived 5 wars, 26 administrations, 3 monetary systems, and a Great Depression.
Time passages.
Throughout it all, we have continued to wish holiday joy to our families and yours. The First National Bank of the Quad Cities.
Introducing the perfect snowblower for the average homeowner. The 5-horsepower John Deere. Narrow enough for tight spaces, yet clears a 2-foot path. It handles like a smaller machine, but throws snow as well as a big one. And since it is a John Deere, it won't let you down when the snow won't let up. The 5-horse John Deere. Now there's no reason the average homeowner has to settle for the average snowblower.
It's the Amos Alonzo Stagg Bowl here in Phoenix Municipal Stadium in Phoenix City, Alabama. The game has returned here after a 2-year absence in which it was played in the College Football Hall of Fame Stadium in Kings Island, Ohio. People are glad to be here for this game, including the 2 players. And Steve, a couple of outstanding players we'd like to talk about. First, the quarterback for Ithaca is Steve Cass.
Well, Ithaca really relies on a very balanced attack. Steve Cass, the quarterback, number 14, exceptional quickness, an option player, the balance of not only being able to throw, but also to run, a multi-dimensional talent, 52% passer. I think the real pressure is on him today.
Ithaca has a balanced attack, more so than Augustana. Ithaca averaging 218 yards on the ground, 130 through the air, for 348 total yards. As for Augustana, they run the ball over 90% of the time. They throw it only 7 times. So when they keep it on the ground, they're led by a very fine but small running back, Brad Price.
I don't think there's any doubt that Brad Price is the key to the Augustana attack. He's only 5'5". They run the wing bone. It's equivalent to the wishbone, but out of 2 setbacks. He's an All-American sprint champion, a very aggressive blocker, multi-dimensional talent, but they really make no bones about it. They are going to run the football, and that's the way they rely on their offense.
So it's Augustana here today, Steve, with 36 consecutive victories, back-to-back national championships. Ithaca, a football team also rich in some playoff tradition, but most recently it's been Augustana that's been in this title game.
I think there are several factors that are important. Augustana has a tremendous, as we see them come on the field, 14-3 in playoffs. They've been here before. They know the experience. They rely on a ball control attack, no mistakes, no turnovers, field position, the way they play offense. Defensively, they feel like they've got to control Steve Cass, the quarterback for Ithaca today.
So Augustana, as you see them huddling down in their end zone, they'll be dressed in the white jerseys with the gold pants. They'll also have gold helmets here in this game, introducing some of the defensive players. We figure this is pretty much a defensive game. If you look upon the statistics, they're both hard-hitting and they're both very tough to move the ball against.
Well, I don't think there's any doubt about it, but I think the real key for Ithaca, they have to run that offense that's more of a balanced attack, both run and pass. Again, Steve Cass, as we said earlier, is going to be the key to the ball game in terms of the way they play. I think they've got an exceptional game plan. If they can take away the first down success play that Augustana has, I think they will play a much closer football game than people give them credit for.
And as you saw, Ithaca has won 19 consecutive games against Division III opponents. Ithaca's only defeat this year came to the hands of American International, a very fine Division II football team that defeated Ithaca midway through the season. But against Division III, Ithaca has been unbeaten this year. So it's a team with a streak on the line, as well as the Augustana Viking streak on the line here this afternoon. The Vikings, Steve, remember the last time they were here in this stadium, it was 1982 when they lost the Stagg Bowl final. They were defeated by West Georgia, and so Bob Reed said, we remember it, we want to come back to this very ballpark and avenge that defeat.
Well, again, I think what's so important is that you don't worry about the streaks so much. What you worry about is the fact that you've got a chance to win the national championship, and I think that's the important point. They've gotten a position now where they can win it and continue their streak.
So Ithaca also being introduced on the field, many of their defensive players, as you see, the head coach of the Ithaca Bombers, Jim Butterfield. Jim has been there for 19 seasons, 133 wins, 53 defeats, highly successful. He thought at one time he might want to go on to a larger school, but he says, I've really fallen in love with the Ithaca community, and I'm here to stay. At age 58, he has certainly carved himself a wonderful niche, a success record as head coach of the Ithaca Bombers. Breed, also a very highly successful coach for Augustana. Bob came out of the high school ranks back in Illinois at a high school where he won 52 consecutive games at that level, stepped right in at the college level, and has brought his football team here to now what has been the 4th straight Stagg Bowl appearance for the Augustana Vikings. Bob Reed at 68-8 on his record as head coach of Augustana. Both teams are on the field, and we're just about set for the kickoff as Glenn Hassel is our referee today, Jack Swan the umpire, Bill Smith is the head linesman, George Haley the line judge, Bob Bird is the field judge, and Leo Martindale is the back judge. The officials working this NCAA Division III championship game here on a sun-splashed field here in Phoenix City, but a very chilly one to say the least. They had warmer conditions here earlier in the week, but the rain was also with it. The rain moved out. The cold, clear skies are here.
Both teams have had to struggle with the elements and getting in the playoff system and getting through. So the weather today, even though it's extremely cold, the wind is more of a factor, not the cold. The frustration of the players, they've got a better turf than they played on all the way through, so I think that's a positive. What's important today that I think you've got to realize, the team that can take the other team out of their character. In a national championship bid running, if you can be in a situation where you can keep the character of your team, what you've played with all year, if you can force someone out of their character, then you've got the edge to win the football game, and that's what will be important, to see who can take the other team out of their character.
Steve, I would imagine all the players have a case of nerves, butterflies at this point, but at what point in the game do those cease and desist? Do that early in the game, or is that really helpful to determine a winner?
I always felt like I was brought back to reality the first time I got hit in the mouth. And I think generally that's the case when you physically get assaulted, someone hits you, stuns you, brings you back to reality that this is a football game. This is all the emotion generally leaves pretty quick in a football game. There are exceptions, but generally it leaves reasonably early in the first quarter.
Here's the cost of the coin now at midfield. So Ithaca wins the coin toss here for the Stagg Bowl championship game. The officiating crew talking it over here, and Ithaca then, with the winner of the toss, has deferred its option until the second half, which means the Bombers should get the ball to start the third quarter, and now Augustana will decide what it wants to do. Will it take the ball? Will it try and move with the wind here? And as they switch around, we're going to see the Augustana Vikings electing to take the ball to start this football game, and so Augustana will move from right to left here on the opening drive. So we're glad you're with us for this NCAA championship game here in Phoenix City, Alabama. It's the Ithaca Bombers 11-1 against the Augustana Vikings at 12-0, and both schools have the fans that have made this trip down here, Steve, for this game this afternoon. It's always good as a player to know you've got the people behind you and to try and root you on and to try and get you up just a little bit more when you're playing for a game as big as this one at this level, the national championship. For Augustana, then, they'll be receiving this opening kickoff, and they'll send back in double deep formation, standing just inside the 5-yard line. They're going to have their return back, Brad Price. And we're dry, but we're cold.
We're not frozen. I mean, I want you to know, it is so cold. I don't know. I don't even feel my feet. I know it is freezing cold.
All right, deep then for the Augustana Vikings. You get a good shot at him right there. It's Dennis Frakes. He's averaging 17 yards per kickoff return. Brad Price is the other man back. Price is averaging 29 yards per return. And so for the Ithaca Bombers, they've got the ball teed up at the 40-yard line. This game is underway. It comes down to Price at the 6-yard line. Heads toward the center of the field. Good running room, and he gets out across the 20, out to around the 25-yard line. So the offensive unit of the Augustana Vikings comes out of the field. There you see the tackle, big guy, 6'7", 265, Jeff Widdop. The other tackle, Steve Sanders, an academic All-American. The guards are Holmstrom and Widener, and a freshman, John Bothy, is the center. The tight end is Tom Kula, the wide receiver, Eric Welgott. Bob Guerrero is the wingback. Wallace, the quarterback. Price and McCormick are his running backs. Guerreri is in the slot to the right, now comes in motion to the near side, and they keep the ball on the ground for the first play. They run it straight at the Ithaca defense, Steve, get across the 30-yard line out to around the 32. You take a look at the Ithaca Bomber defense. Up front, Mollet, Sweeney, the tackles. The middleman is Mike Norton. The outside backers, Tim Torrey's an All-American, and the deep backs, Dan Welkley, also a 4-year starter at free safety. Another running play across the 33 to about the 34-yard line. Pickup of a couple on the play, so Augustana will face its first third down opportunity of this football game.
You don't see the offense, the wing bone, all that much. Basically, it's a wishbone with a two basic set offensive back set, a fast back, a speed back that goes in motion almost on every single play. And they really believe that what they've got to do is control the ball, no mistakes, repetition, and just do it over and over and over again. And they make big plays.
On 3rd and 2, they run Guerreri. The wing back has the first down as he runs to the near side of the field, crosses the 40-yard line out to the 42. Bob Guerreri, only 5'6", a junior from Elmhurst, Illinois. He averages 5 yards per rush. He picks up the first down.
As a defensive football team, you've got to be patient because they go with the outside belly. They, time and time again, they'll give the ball to the fullback inside, and then they'll give it to the trailing back, the wing back, and give it to him on the belly play. And so time and time again, as a defensive player in the interior, you've got to be patient and make sure who has that football.
Dennis Frakes is now in the game, replacing Guerreri at the wing back on the right side. Greg Wallace, the quarterback, on a little delay, hands the ball off on a running play again off the left tackle. They got across the 45 to about the 46-yard line. Tom Kula ran the ball, but you'll see a yellow flag, our first penalty of the afternoon. It's illegal procedure called against the Vikings.
I can really relate to the wing bone attack because in any type of dominant running attack, when you're relying on the running game, it's mostly repetition. You practice the exchange of the quarterback fullback 1,000 times over the course of the year. You keep practicing, and it's not a very fun offense to practice, I want you to know, but the point is you're successful and you win, and defense has to be very patient because you get frustrated. That fullback will keep coming at you all day long, and then all of a sudden they'll give it to the trailing back, and that's what you've got to avoid and watch out.
So it is first down and 15 yards to go for the Vikings, who again run the ball into the heart of the Ithaca defense. The ball popped loose momentarily, and they're going to reward the ball. It looks like the Bombers, we'll see here. Taking another look at it, as Augustana will retain possession of the ball.
One of the things this offense cannot do, it was trying to go to the fullback. It looked like the pulling guard, either Holmstrom or Widener. Let's take again a look at it. The left guard pulls in front of the quarterback. That's a design part of the offense, but the quarterback was slow getting away from the center, and he knocked the ball free, almost a big turnover early in the ball game.
So it's second down and 14 yards to go for the Vikings, off the left hash mark. Wallace drops back and hands the ball off to Price, and Price is caught behind the line of scrimmage nearly at the 39-yard line. So Steve Ithaca is doing a good job swarming around that football.
Well, I like the defensive game plan of Ithaca. I think they have a very aggressive plan. Let's look what happens. The draw play on a team that doesn't throw the ball very much is not an effective football play, because the defense is stacked up on the line. They're expecting the running play. The linebackers are reading the play. It's not a real smart call.
So it's third down and 13. For many teams, a passing down. We'll see if Augustana puts the ball in the air. They've got wideouts both left and right as Wallace, rolling right, goes to the wingback, Price, and Price makes the catch but picks up little, if anything. So on 3rd and 13, the Vikings have been stopped well short of it, and they'll send in their punting team, as coming into the football game for Augustana is the punter, John Layton, who averages 35 yards per punt.
The point is, in a running dominant team, when you rely on the run, you get in a situation where you have to pass. They don't practice the pass about 5% during practice time. That's the frustration. If Ithaca can continue to keep that trend, they're pulling them out of their character.
So Layton will punt. Pete Minturn is back in single safety for Ithaca. He's standing at around his 35-yard line. A good snap. The ball partially deflected by Ithaca. It's going to come down short, and so, Steve, they're going to have great field position when they return. It'll be Ithaca football in Augustana territory. We're scoreless early in this game.
This Christmas, get your kids a little magic at Hardee's. Just buy any sandwich, fries, and Coke, And you can get the magic of a classic Disney character for just $2.19. Lady, Bambi, Dumbo, Pinocchio, and one of the 101 Dalmatians. A different Disney character each week at Hardee's.
Hardee's, where good people go for good food.
Sir, what makes the Highland Toyota so special?
Why, ma'am, it's our enthusiasm. We've got the best car built. This year, Corolla has cloth seats.
Oh.
And look at all the cargo space. And most of all, front-wheel drive.
Come down to our South Park new car showroom or our used car location on the hill.
I demonstrate every car I sell.
Hi, cracky, he sold me.
Gift ideas from True Value hardware stores, like this Splash Dance radio from Polynex. It fills your shower with AM/FM music and news. And a comfortable Norelco Speed Razor has 2 floating heads and a snap-on case for easy travel. Then surround yourself with sound from this GE stereo radio headset. Its tiny FM receiver fits right on the side for easy tuning. Wrap up your holiday shopping at participating True Value hardware stores and home centers.
So the Bombers have the football as the quarterback, Steve Cass, will pass the football out into the flat. He's got a receiver. It is Minturn who makes the catch at the Augustana 37.
I really like the versatility of Steve Cass, the quarterback, to roll out, to be able to throw a perfect target, ball right on delivery. There's not anyone covering very close on the receiver, and it really, Minturn makes the reception.
So Minturn goes wide to the left now. In the slot to the left is John Anglem. The running backs are split. Kevin Macri and Sean Huth. Huth left and Macri right. There's the quarterback, Cass, on a keeper. He runs the option a lot, kept the ball, and gets to the 36, a short gain. Take a look now at the Ithaca starting lineup on offense. They've got Brett and Flehan at the tackles. Chance Kelly is at the left guard. The Bob Garone is a veteran returning starter at center. Minturn, Chiesa, and Lynch are the receivers. Cass, the quarterback, with Kevin Macri, the fullback, Sean Youth, the other running back. From the deuce formation with a double wide to the left side. Cass barks them out, stumbles and goes down, and he'll lose about 4 yards. Never really had good footing when he took the snap from center Bob Garone and went down early. There for the Vikings, Robert Woolridge, Scott Francis, Brian King in the middle, Lynn Thompson, the defensive tackle. The linebackers, Lovedahl and Ricketts. They've got a great secondary. Long is in there along with Gray, Kevin Camille, and Troy Westerman. Those are the deep backs for the Vikings. Ithaca now is in third down and 14 yards to go from the Augustana 42. Pass at quarterback, rolling left side, going over the middle. It's through Minturn's hands. It falls incomplete. Kevin Camille was defending on the play for Augustana. This telecast is presented by the authority of the NCAA, and any use of this program without written consent is prohibited. The announcers for this program have been approved and contracted by NCAA Productions. Brad Price is deep, along with Eric Welgat for Augustana. Bill Toth punting the football, a short kick, a fair catch made, and it's going to give Augustana the football at its own 13-yard line. So each team has punted the ball once here with 10:08 to play in this first quarter. The Augustana Vikings will get the football back for its second possession. And Greg Wallace, the quarterback, hustles into the lineup now. The Vikings trying for an unprecedented third straight Division III title. They break the huddle and come to the line of scrimmage. Greg Wallace, 5'10", 165, a sophomore from Belvedere, Illinois, is the quarterback. And there's Price again, taking the handoff, and he won't find much running room.
One of the things that Ithaca really felt like they had to do on defense is to win the first down battle. Ball-controlled football teams that run the ball have to rely on big first down plays. They don't want to get in a situation on second and third down where they have to go throw the ball, something that's out of their character. So this time, anytime you see Ithaca holding them 2 or 3 yards, they've won the battle. That's taking them out of their character.
And they did it on the first time. They gave them only 2, so it's 2nd and 8, awaiting the Vikings. Wallace starts them out and again hands the ball off to the running back, and Shane McCormick off the left tackle picks up a couple. McCormick averaging 5.3 per carry.
Play gain 2 yards.
So now, Steve, Ithaca has Augustana about where it wants them, 3rd down and about 7 yards to go. Inside the 20.
Exactly. You want to force that situation where they feel like that, boy, they've got to have a big 3rd down running play to make the 1st and 10. Make them be threatened a little bit by the fact that they may have to break their game plan a little bit.
And there's the wingback, Guerreri, running straight ahead across the 24, maybe to the 25-yard line, as Guerreri, the wingback, who averages 5 yards per rush and was picked up 641 yards on the year with a big run there for the Vikings. They've got a 1st down out to the 25-yard line.
Excellent misdirection play, going one way, causing the defense to react to one side, and then all of a sudden the trailing back, the wingback comes back inside for the 1st and 10.
And there's a fumble on the play that they say it has been ruled dead, as Dennis Frakes was the ball carrier. He just came in at that wingback position, replacing Guerreri. Bob Reed will alternate between Guerreri and Frakes a lot and bring those plays in at that wingback position.
They were talking yesterday about Guerreri and Frakes. Both of them are very similar athletes. They love to compete against each other. They're the messengers. They have about the same speed, size, competitiveness. If one sees one goes to the weight, one observes one going to the weight room, the other one will follow him. Doesn't want to get ahead of him.
And there again, the wingback, Guerreri, back into the game, runs the ball to the near sideline and gets out across the 35 up to around the 37-yard line. He should have another Augustana Viking 1st down, which would be their 2nd in this drive.
This is such a fine play. This may be one of the finest plays in football. The outside belly. You fake inside. See the people going inside for the fullback. Now he breaks outside. Watch Brad Price, 29. He gets a little block that frees him on into the secondary. But it really is one of those best plays because you think about that fullback and then all of a sudden, here comes the trailing back.
So for the first time, the Vikings have established some offensive momentum, picking up 2 drives, 2 1st downs in succession. But then there's some confusion at the line of scrimmage, and so the quarterback, Greg Wallace, has asked for and has received a timeout. 7:53 remaining in this 1st quarter. It's Ithaca nothing and Augustana nothing. We'll return for more football from the Stagg Bowl in just a moment.
When your sink is sunk, call Roto-Rooter. When your drain doesn't, you'd better call Roto-Rooter. When your tub's down the tubes where it's taps for your pipes, call us. We can clear any drain in the house in minutes.
Call Roto-Rooter, that's the name. There's only one.
We're from Kansas City, Missouri. I'm from East Moline.
From Silvis.
Moline, Illinois.
Kelowna. East Moline.
Here's real people with real reasons for going to Reynolds Motor Company.
Because our son works here.
Fast prompt service and the fact they found me a car I could afford.
I come back a month later and bought another one.
Reynolds was willing to make me a deal that I could afford.
We shopped around at all the local dealers and we got our best deal here at Reynolds.
You got a good buy. That's the only reason.
Have you driven a Ford lately?
Unwrap some terrific gift ideas from True Value hardware stores. Like this Splash Dance radio from Polynex. It fills your shower with AM/FM music and news. And a comfortable Norelco Speed Razor has 2 floating heads and a snap-on case for easy travel. Then surround yourself with sound from this GE stereo radio headset. Its tiny FM receiver fits right on the side for easy tuning. Wrap up your holiday shopping at participating True Value hardware stores and home centers.
Let's see. The linebackers, because on that outside belly play, yeah, anything you want to do there. All right, okay.
So the Vikings come to the line of scrimmage here. Perhaps the confusion has been solved for quarterback Greg Wallace on a 1st and 10. They give the ball to Price, who runs straight ahead, and little guy with a lot of power gets up to around the 44-yard line. Runs right into the Ithaca linebackers.
One of the things that's so confusing, if you are a linebacker, because you see the wing back, he goes in motion away. Now watch, he's reacting to the wing back. Now he's got to come in and find who has the ball, find Brad Price. So the linebackers, out of their corner of their eye, they see that wing back going quick in motion. They've got to react to where the ball is, so it's a little bit confusing. A lot of pressure on the linebackers.
And he picked up 7, so it's 2nd and 3, and there's another 1st down nearly up to the 50-yard line as they run the ball straight ahead again, attacking the heart of the Ithaca defense. Shane McCormick, number 5, the ball carrier for the Vikings.
The concept of Augustana is Brad Price is the sprinter, the speedster, where Shane McCormick is more of the power runner inside, the more physically assaulting back. And so it's a nice combination between Price and McCormick.
McCormick had 115 yards in that win against Central Iowa. So they're out near midfield at the 49-yard line. And here against the wing-back breaks. It's into Ithaca territory for the first time in this game, down to the 44-yard line.
Let's watch a little bit of what the wingback, every time he goes on a sprint, he's going to get the ball this time. So every time you've got to be aware of where he is on the field. So when you see him go in motion, a lot of times he's just a decoy. Then all of a sudden you've got to realize here's a back that's 3 or 4 yards back from everybody else, kind of isolated. You've got to be aware of where he is on the field.
So the Vikings with their deepest penetration here to the Ithaca 44-yard line. They bring the wingback in motion again, but they hand the ball off to the fullback, McCormick. Power running his way down to the 38-yard line. They're just grinding them out now.
One of the things that Ithaca is doing, they brought a new goal line defense into their concept for this particular game. They felt like because Augustana is not a throwing team that they could risk putting 9 men on the line, going with 2 deep secondary backs. They've tried it on a couple of 1st and 10 plays, and it's been successful for them, but all of a sudden you start wondering if Augustana might come out of character a little bit and try to throw on a situation of a 9 versus a 9 and 2 coverage on secondary.
Wallace hands the ball off to Price, and he squirts to the opening and gets to around the 32-yard line. They like to say about these Augustana running backs, they're kind of smurfs because, you know, you got Price at 5'5", and Guerrero at 5'6", and Frakes at 5'8". When they do bring McCormick in there at 5'11", he is a giant among those little people. They're very effective at running the football. Augustana averaging 293 yards per game on the ground, only 41 through the air. They're driving on the Bombers down to the Bomber 32-yard line. On the left hash mark is where they have a 2nd down and 4-yard situation. The wingback, Guerrero, was hit hard immediately that time. A big hit made by the linebacker Joe Mara.
Mara, number 95, really the coaches say has the best potential of all the linebackers. Strong, calls all the defensive plays. He makes the right call this time and hits Guerrero right in the mouth. Broke into the area, open, no one covered him, and he able to make the tackle. Is the quarterback on the field in every sense for Ithaca.
So it's 3rd down. 6 yards to go. Eric Welgat is wide to the right side. But they again run the football and hand it off to Frakes, who gets inside the 30 down to around the 28-yard line. Here's where Dennis Frakes, a sophomore from Canton, Illinois, carried the ball.
Ithaca's defensive coaches really felt like if they could win the 1st down play, force him to throw the ball, which it may, I don't know, I think Bob Reed may be just totally not willing at all to throw the ball. But the other key was the 3 interior people. Molay, 63, Norton, the nose guard, and Sweeney, the other tackle. Those 3 people able to control the middle of that defensive line and take away that belly play that is so effective for Augustana.
So it's a 4th down and less than a yard to go. The Vikings are going for it. They're at the line of scrimmage. A big 4th and 1. And there's the handoff to McCormick off the left tackle. He's very close, and they'll have to spot for a measurement, we would think, here, as McCormick was hit immediately off the left side of the line.
Brian Doherty, the safety, is the one that will make the tackle. Everybody pinches inside as he goes outside. Doherty makes a good tackle, wraps him up, a co-captain. but it wasn't quite good enough or quick enough.
It was just barely enough for a first down. The official took a long look at the sideline and then said, no, we don't need the chain gang. It is a first down. So the Vikings gamble and win on 4th and short. They now have it 1st and 10 at the Ithaca 27-yard line. McCormick and Price are the running backs. There's Price again, squirting his way inside the 25 and still ripping down to the 21-yard line.
The offensive line really had a little something happen that helped them. The linebackers were on a blitz. 95 Mara went inside. Price, there's no linebacker there to cover up the open area, so the offensive line got a little bit of help out of the fact that the linebackers were blitzing and puts Price into the secondary.
So the Vikings have the ball squarely between the sidelines, or equidistant from the sidelines. They've got the ball at the 20-yard line. 2nd down and 2, and again it's his fullback running the ball. McCormick getting down to around the 18-yard line.
One of the things as a defensive football player, when you're playing ground control attack, you've got to remain so patient. The offense just becomes relentless. They keep coming at you. You don't want to get frustrated, realizing that every time that fullback comes through, either with the ball or without, you've got to find out. You've got to check him. Don't get impatient. Don't start edging to get outside to make a big play. Don't try to make something happen. Just let the game play itself out. Tackle the guy in your area.
3rd down, less than a yard to go. Running play to Frakes, needing a yard.
Frakes about there.
Frakes has rushed 458 yards this year, a 5.7 average. This time needed only a yard, running in heavy traffic. They spot the ball at the 16-yard line, where the Vikings have picked up another first down. So once on 4th and 1 and a second time on 3rd and 1, the Vikings have remained in control. And they're pushing the ball deep toward the goal line now at the Ithaca 16-yard line. Greg Wallace, the quarterback, hands the ball off to the wingback Guerreri down the sideline. He's hit and then pushed out of bounds at the 7-yard line. So Guerreri lining up with that wingback right, running the ball to the short side of the field left.
The most impressive aspect of the outside belly play is the block by the halfback. Brad Price made a great block that put Guerreri into the secondary. He was able to use his only 5'5" to be able to wall off a big defensive end that's turning inside, looking at that play at the fullback, and to wall him off, and that made the play work.
So McCormick, the fullback, and Price is the slot back to the left. It's McCormick in heavy traffic again, getting down to around the 7-yard line, maybe the 6. The big fullback out of Hillsdale, Illinois, carrying the ball. McCormick, Steve, has lost only 1 yard all season long. He's a power-positive runner.
Boy, that's the kind of guys you want in your offense, a guy that just loses 1 yard the entire season, always moving forward. And you know, you talked about the diminutive size of Augustana's backs. I think what's impressive, their legs, you know, they keep churning. Outstanding backs, good backs, backs that play have that ability to be relentless and running and keeping their feet going forward, where their body lean, everything's going forward, the ball's extended forward, and that's what you see that's so impressive when you watch them.
So, a minute 28 remaining in this first quarter. This has been a very impressive drive, all on the ground by the Augustana Vikings. The first time they got the ball, they had to punt, but when they got it back on the second time, they've kept it on the ground, and they pushed it down to the Ithaca 5-yard line. They now have it 1st and goal to go. Wallace, the quarterback, McCormick, the fullback, and Price is the halfback on the left. Wing back to the right side. McCormick to the 4-yard line. Gets tougher inside that 5, doesn't it, Steve?
Boy, it really does. Of course, that's where you have to toughen up. You have to be, I've always said that defensive players have to swell up, get bigger, create less running lanes. You got to take chances inside the 5-yard line, and that sometimes you just have to guess right. It's really amazing. They've got, you know, you look at Augustana, they've got backs going every different direction. You've just got to really concentrate on your area as a defensive player.
So it's 2nd down and goal to go. And this is the running back, Price, down to the goal line. He may have gone down to around the 1 is where they're going to spot the ball. Price has rushed for 9 touchdowns this year, flirting for number 10, but you'll see him come up just a bit short.
Price has outstanding speed. The toss sweep, he's got the wing back, the full back in front of him. He sees a seam. They're trying to force him outside. He sees the seam, and then he cuts inside. In a sweep play, what you want to do is string it out. Make it go to the sidelines. Well, he sees a little seam. Linebackers are getting turned up. 95, Mara's got to make the tackle, or at least try to put him down, and he goes down right before he goes into the end zone.
So the Vikings are going to have to wait, because that is the end of the first quarter. It's Augustana nothing and Ithaca nothing. We'll be back after this message. This is an NCAA Productions telecast.
The Weather Service has issued a blizzard warning for tonight and tomorrow. Driving is extremely hazardous, so please stay off the roads unless you own a four-wheel drive vehicle.
Remember days like this? Don't get caught again this winter. See Blackhawk Imports now about owning your four-wheel drive Subaru, the car that climbs mountains. Blackhawk Imports has a full line of on-demand four-wheel drive wagons, sedans, four-doors, and brats. Available in front-wheel drive too. All built to get you there this winter.
Anybody need a ride? I got my Subaru.
See Blackhawk Imports today.
Jacques Poré, logger extraordinaire.
Bonjour, monsieur.
I see you're using a John Deere chainsaw.
Oh oui, bien sûr. Elle possède une puissance étonnante. Elle est légère et elle coupe même les plus gros arbres à la planche. Boum! Il tombe instantanément.
How about the features?
Fantastique. Ignition électronique, elle fonctionne en souplesse. Et regarde, la poignée est protégée. C'est une magnifique tronçonneuse. Oh, non. Magnifique tronçonneuse.
Mick Hubert along with Steve Davis back here at the Amos Alonzo Stagg Ball in Phoenix City, Alabama, where we're awaiting the Augustana Vikings, who are knocking on the goal line door of the Ithaca Bombers. They've got a third down. Goal to go at the 1-yard line. Price is on the left side. McCormick is the fullback. Guerrero, the wingback, in motion. And there's the fullback diving over. Shane McCormick has the first touchdown of the game as Augustana has taken a 6-0 lead.
What a compliment to John Bothy, the freshman center, number 65, to send the ball carrier, Shane McCormick, right over his tail end between Holmstrom and Bothy to be able to get into the end zone. A well-executed drive, just perfect for what they want to try to do. Ball control, eat up the clock.
Jay Hatch will hold. Matt Kroll will kick. Kroll is 34 of 41. It's a good snap, but Hatch can't get it down on the tee, and the kick has been blocked. And so, with 14:58 to play in the second quarter, there's time out on the field with the score, Augustana 6 and Ithaca nothing.
This Christmas, give your favorite do-it-yourselfer fine master mechanic tools from True Value hardware stores, like their 57-piece socket wrench set with 33 standard and metric socket sizes. This heavy-duty workbench has 3 drawers and a 2-shelf compartment. The Master Mechanic's 16-gallon wet-dry vacuum comes with these convenient accessories. Or give their 2-drawer tool chest and 5-drawer cabinet. Save almost $10 when you buy them together from participating True Value hardware stores and home centers.
And the wind fills the sails, and off she goes.
Norman Rockwell captured America's seafaring past forever. Now Long John Silver's brings it to you. This holiday season, buy any meal and get a collector's edition Norman Rockwell porcelain tankard for $1.79. Each week will feature a new seafarer illustration. So come to Long John Silver's and start your Rockwell collection today.
This is a beauty, Grandpa.
Number 27, Pete Minter.
John Layton has it teed up for the Augustana Vikings. He'll kick back to a pair of deep receivers for the Ithaca Bombers. Pete Minturn standing at the goal line. Layton will have the stiff breeze to his back on this kickoff. It's a little short, though, coming down to the 10-yard line. Minturn turns upfield to the 15, across the 20, fumbles the football, and it's loose, and it looks like the Vikings may have recovered this football. It was Ron Glendenning that recovered the fumble.
Minturn gets the ball. Let's see if it's a good effort tackle. I can't see. 57 makes the tackle. and pops the ball loose. There's a second look. Let's see what happens.
The fumble recovered by number 40, Ron Clinton.
Watch from outside as he's trying to make the effort. The ball gets away from his body a little bit. It's popped loose, and Augustana gets a great break.
They do have a break indeed, Steve. The 23-yard line is where they're going to try a pass. Wallace going deep down to Eric Welgat, who holds it in for a touchdown. They strike quickly on the turnover. A 23-yard touchdown pass play from Greg Wallace to Eric Welgat. It's Welgat's 4th touchdown reception of the season, and quickly Augustana has taken a 2-touchdown lead in the game.
So many times after you've had a big turnover, you try to go for the big score, try to make something happen quick. You see it all the time in football, and this time of all things, a pass over the middle to Welgat, 36 down the line. Perfect call, perfect situation to run the play, touchdown.
And they're not going to try for the kick this time. After failing the first time, they're going to go for 2. It's McCormick on the fake, the pitch back to Frakes. He can't turn the corner, fails to get in. So the Vikings have been turned back again. 14:46 to play in the second quarter. Timeout on the field with the score. Augustana 12, Ithaca nothing.
A John Deere New Dimension battery can put the power of the farm under the hood of your car. So when ordinary batteries leave you cold, see your John Deere dealer. Put the power of the farm to work for you. John Deere batteries, chargers, and jumper cables.
This may come as a shock, but car dealers are people too. I'm Matt Schwind. My grandfather started selling cars in 1919. Today, my dad John carries on the tradition. Altogether, the Schwind family has sold and serviced over 100,000 cars and trucks. How do we do it? We're honest, we're fair, and we believe in taking care of the customer after the sale. Come see what my family stands for. We're Schwindboker Buick, just north of North Park on Brady Street, Davenport.
So for the second time in the last few moments, John Layton has it teed up at the 40-yard line to kick off to the Ithaca Bombers. Charlie Pope is back to receive the kick. It's coming down to the field, coming down to George Mack, also deep at the 3. Mack veering to the outside, getting across the 15, and he has been hit hard. And so the Augustana Vikings now with a lot of momentum, and they're fired up. A big hit there. Carlton Beasley makes the hit.
One of the things that you want to do to the ball carrier is always assault him, to physically punish him. That was one of the concerns coming in the ball game of how physical the football game would be. And Augustana won that battle.
And so they've pushed Ithaca on the big hit inside the 20. Their drive will start at the 16-yard line. They're 84 yards away from the goal line here when they try and mount this threat for quarterback Steve Cass. Cass hands the ball out to the fullback, spinning and twisting his way, Sean Huth. Huth, the 6-foot, 178-pound sophomore, 343 yards rushing on the season, averaging 7 yards per rush. And that time he was able to get the ball out across the 20 to the 21-yard line.
You've got to realize that Augustana is one of the great defensive football teams in Division III. First in scoring defense, first in rushing defense, first in total defense, 10th in passing defense. They are very, very physical and very, very good.
On 2nd and 5, they keep the ball on the ground and won't get much, perhaps line of scrimmage. And that's about all.
In the last 7 games, Augustana has allowed just a total of 37 points. 4 touchdowns is all that they have allowed. And they are a very well-coached football team on defense.
From the 22.
Augustana holding Ithaca scoreless in that first quarter. Only 8 points has been scored on Augustana in the first quarter all year. So they come out right from the opening kickoff and play strong, and they made it stand up here in the first quarter today. 3rd and 5 as Cass drops back under heavy pressure. And now scrambling out of the pocket, will run the football across the 30 up to the 32-yard line. So Cass, who was forced out of the pocket, picks up a first down.
One of the peculiar things about preparing for this ball game, you're only allowed to look at 2 films. For Augustana, crazy enough as you think, they have not seen him on film, on Cass on film. The 2 games they selected was Ithaca against 2 Division II schools. They didn't have a chance to see his speed or what kind of talent he's got, and he's got outstanding talent. Can you imagine having film and not being able to see the quarterback you're going to play against?
He has 4.6 speed, to be exact, in the 40-yard dash, and he made it stand up there for a first down, the 31-yard line. Cass again, picking and choosing his way, and getting to about the 34-yard line.
I think what's so impressive about Steve is his versatility, his ability. Anytime you've got in a quarterback the ability to be mobile, to move the pocket when you're throwing the ball, to have the impromptu play, to do something out of character, if the play breaks down, to have the mobility, the flexibility, and the talent to make a bad play into a good play. And Steve Cass possesses those skills.
So it's 2nd down and 7 yards to go for the Ithaca Bombers. George Mack is split wide to the right side. Get a good look there at the quarterback. Cass handing the ball off to the fullback running the play, Kevin Macri. Macri's 5'8", 178, a junior from New Rochelle, New York. Out to the 43-yard line.
Play game 3 yards.
So it brings up 3rd down and 7 yards to go. They're trying to keep warm here at Phoenix City, Alabama. The Augustana fans made their way down from the Quad Cities of Rock Island, Illinois. That did a large contingent of Bomber fans from Ithaca, New York. They're down and 4. Running back to split. Anglem in motion to the other side. But what a rush, what a pursuit, forcing Cass back to the 31-yard line. But there is a penalty marker on the play. Second penalty of this game. 11:36 to play in the second quarter. Augustana leading 12-0. Penalty going to go against Ithaca.
What happens on the play? The backside, Robert Woolridge, number 55, is able to pull down Steve Cass from behind. What happens? Brian King, the nose guard, Garone was not able to control in the center, and so Brian King's there, Woolridge is there, and he tries to take on that impromptu play, and he gets trapped.
So it's 4th down and 4 yards to go. Ithaca had the win in the first quarter, but they're going into the teeth of a strong win here in this quarter, and so now the punter, Bill Toth, has got his work cut out for him, kicking into a stiff win. Troy Westerman is back to return the punt. He's the short man. And the ball is going to come down and hit the 43. Taking Ithaca roll, getting inside the 30-yard line to around the 27-yard line. So he got a good roll, and so Augustana will get the ball. 11:13 remaining in the second quarter. It's Augustana 12 and Ithaca nothing.
Christmas is just around the bend, bringing gifts from True Value hardware stores. Like the Dustbuster Plus, Black & Decker's most powerful cordless vacuum, complete with attachments. Then peel and julienne fruits or vegetables with this Daisy electric stripper. And work anywhere in your kitchen with these Sunbeam cordless appliances. Get the Freedom cordless mixer, knife, or can opener at participating True Value hardware stores and home centers.
This Christmas, get your kids a little magic at Hardee's. Just buy any sandwich, fries, and Coke, and you can get the magic of a classic Disney character for just $2.19. Lady, Bambi, Dumbo, Pinocchio, and one of the 101 Dalmatians. A different Disney character each week at Hardee's.
Hardee's, where good people go, good food.
From their own 28.
The Augustana Vikings with the lead and the ball. 12-0 Viking lead. A handoff again to the running back, getting across to about the 30-yard line. He faked it to the fullback, McCormick, and then handed the ball off to the wingback on the left side, or rather make it Price running the ball.
2 yards.
Price got 2, so it's 2nd and 8.
We look at Greg Wallace, the quarterback. He was the backup quarterback early in the season. Greg Bender, the starting quarterback, was injured in the 3rd ball game, and he's come in and filled quite well, provided the leadership. The second half of the season has really improved as a leader. Few mistakes. Wishbone quarterback in high school makes a difference.
It's Beck back to pass. He's got a man out on the left side. It's Price across the 40, across the 50 into Ithaca territory to the 48-yard line. Is Wallace hitting Price. So slot back on the left side. Price making his 7th reception of the season.
As I said earlier, the concept on the part of Ithaca is to play that 9-man front to encourage them to try to throw the ball. You've got to have someone out there. Price breaks into the secondary, out of the backfield. No linebacker picks him up. They're worried about the run, and he makes a big down.
So Augustana averaging only 7 passes per game already, 2 for 2 in this one. They're at the Ithaca 48-yard line.
Ithaca wants to pull them out of their character, but you've got to be able to react to it when you do it.
And here's a third pass attempt. No one in the area at all. Under heavy pressure by the Ithaca Bombers.
Should have thrown a flag. Intentional grounding it should have been. There wasn't a receiver in the area at all.
That's what the All-American outside linebacker, Tim Torrey, number 39, was trying to convince the officials of. And now they have called that penalty indeed.
Good play. Good call, officials.
They do call it as Bob Reed is wondering what's going on here, and they lose the down.
Come on, the backfield down.
Lost it down. It was a good call. There was no one in the area. Of course, right now Augustana is really giving him a lot of grief about it. Lost it down. But the point is, there was no receiver. He's trying to get the ball away, trying to get out of the bad play. Nothing is there. Good call by the officials. Lost it down. That'll cost you.
So it's going to bring up 2nd down now. And about to long yardage.
I need a computer to figure out how much.
2nd and long here as Dennis Frakes is in the game now at the wing back, replacing Guerreri. Drops back and he hands the ball off to McCormick on a fullback. The draw gets out to around the 39-yard line as where McCormick runs the football. McCormick, a 2-year letterman out of Hillsdale, Illinois. 10-10 you see here in the rapidly moving game. Game's going to be played a little quicker, Steve, when you don't put the ball up in the air much.
That's right, the running game. I always like that, boy. Play the ball game, get it over with. Run that football, eat up the clock, and hopefully you get the lead.
3rd down and long yardage now for the Augustana Vikings, 2-time defending national champions. And there's a flag on the play which will halt the action here right at the line of scrimmage. Vikings were trying to run out wide to the left side there, but this penalty has stopped things, and it's going to be a legal procedure against Augustana.
The left guard, let's see if he, premature, jumps. Tim Holstrom jumps a little premature. The captain, he's a 3-year starter. Got to be controlled. This is his 4th Stagg Bowl to play in. Great trap blocker, 2-time all-conference performer. He wanted to go make the block a little premature, get a little edge.
36 consecutive starting assignments for Tim Holmstrom. So it's 3rd down, still long yardage for the Augustana Vikings. Wallace hands the ball off there to Price, and Price hit at the 48, leaps into Ithaca territory, gets to the 49-yard line. Brad Price.
95, Joe Mayer, the linebacker. Watch him right there. The freshman makes the good block and frees him away. The linebacker had to make the play. That puts Price into the secondary, and it forces the tackle by Farah, number 45.
So John Layton is in to punt for Augustana. 35-yard average. Pete Minturn is back. He returned a punt, 68 yards for a touchdown in one game this year. Standing at his 10-yard line, a good snap. Layton gets his foot into the football, hits it high. Minturn comes down to the 16-yard line and will get about a 3-yard return. So the Bombers will have the ball at their 18-yard line. 8:48 to play, 2nd quarter. Augustana 12 and Ithaca nothing.
Augustana College, synonymous with excellence and achievement in education, in athletics. More than 2,000 young men and women from 32 states and 14 countries study at Augustana. 3/4 of them come from the top quarter of their high school classes. And as seniors, 95% of them go directly into graduate schools or careers following graduation. Superior students appreciate superior faculty. At Augustana, more than 80% hold doctoral degrees. Achievement in the classroom is matched by achievement in athletics. 9 out of 10 Augustana students participate in either varsity or intramural sports. Both men and women participate in NC2A Division III competition. Within the College Conference of Illinois and Wisconsin, Augustana has won more championships representing all sports than any other college in the league. Augustana's football team competing today has compiled a record of 36 consecutive victories, an achievement gained without a single athletic scholarship. In athletics, in education, Augustana means excellence.
Help us keep them smiling.
17-yard line, double wide to the left side. Pass, back to pass over the middle. He's got a man, Jim Lynch. Lynch has the ball at the 27-yard line. Jim Lynch with his 22nd reception of this season. There is a flag on the play, which may nullify the reception. It will. A holding call against Ithaca.
What happens so many times in a pass situation, the center looks like, Garone looks like he was doing a little bit of the holding, got his hands outside of the frame of the body. You have to keep those hands inside the frame of the body, the upper part of the body. Good play. Boy, I like the way Steve Cass can move to one direction and throw the ball back. Good flexibility. Quarterback, nice quick release.
So it's going to bring up here now as they step off the penalty, costing Ithaca some yards. Going to push them back even further back. The Vikings have to love this defensively as the hold call is made, 10 yards.
One of the real concerns by the Ithaca coaching staff offensively was the wind, the weather, and they're having to deal with it right now. They're 12-0 behind. They've got the 20, a good strong wind in front of them, and they're having to try to throw the ball.
And they're 92 yards away from the goal line.
Yeah, that complicates it.
They're going to run the football out around the 11-yard line, maybe the 12. 8:16 to play in this second quarter. The Ithaca Bombers with the ball, but trailing 12-0 to the two-time defending national champion Augustana Vikings. Lynch comes wide to the left side. Beatman and Tarrant is also split wide to the left. Running backs are in the deuce formation behind Steve Cass. Cass rolling left, looking for Lynch, has him at the 19, and then spins his way upfield to around the 26-yard line before out of bounds.
Mark Long, number 39, is really considered a key in the football game. He's got to pick up the receiver. He's the safety. He's got to go find him. Funny story about Mark Long. Mark Long is 27 years old. He was out of school, out of high school for 4 years. Very mature. He's married. He's got one child. They say he solidifies the defense. Well, he ought to. He can coach him. He's old enough to coach.
He's the old man back there.
27 years old. 39, that'd be a little old to play college football.
As long as he's got those years of eligibility left.
That's right.
7:48 remaining in this second quarter. We had an exchange of footballs you saw there. And so now the Bombers sending a couple of wide receivers out wide to the right. Lynch and Mack. Running backs are split. It's third down. 3 yards to go. Cass will pass. Looking over the middle and can't find Sean Huth coming out of the backfield. The intended receiver, Huth.
One of the things that Augustana's defense tries to do is a lot of movement in their defensive front to change it up. It's very difficult for Ithaca, and what they were concerned about of being able for their offensive linemen to pick up consistently the people that are in their area. They zone block a lot, which is blocking an area, but those linemen move around a lot, the defensive people. That was a concern.
Wellgett and Price are deep. They're standing inside the 40. Toth will punt it. Low kick. Going to go out of bounds and around the 48-yard line. So the Vikings get the ball, and they're going to have good field position. Augustana leading 12-0.
It was late in the summer. snow all around the day was going down slow. Night like a river beginning to flow. I felt the beat of my mind go drifting into time passages. Yes, go falling in the fading light. Time passages.
Since our beginning in 1852, we have survived 5 wars, 26 administrations, 3 monetary systems, and a Great Depression.
Time passages.
Throughout it all, we have continued to wish holiday joy to our families and yours. The First National Bank of the Quad Cities.
So the Vikings in command of this NCAA championship game here midway through the second quarter. A 12-0 lead for Greg Wallace and the Vikings. And here is another penalty against the Vikings thrown in the Augustana backfield. If I had to guess, I would say it would be against the Vikings, perhaps some illegal procedure, but we'll have to wait and see here. The play was called immediately upon the snap nearly. The Vikings scoring a touchdown on fullback Shane McCormick's dive, and then following a turnover, a 23-yard pass play for a touchdown. And it is indeed illegal procedure against the Vikings. That'll cost them some yards. They had the ball at the 48, and will now have the ball in play at the 43-yard line.
One of the things that Ithaca does in its defensive style is they bark commands on their defensive side of the ball, so it may be a little bit confusing if you're an Augustana quarterback or if you're an Augustana lineman hearing someone else barking signals. So there was a little bit of confusion there, and I think Bob Reed's getting a little bit upset about it.
Good point. So it's first down and 15 yards to go, and there is the running play to the halfback. Price really, they ganged up on him there, and after only a short gain on the play. The Ithaca Bombers allowing only 92 yards on the ground, rushing against them this year. They've been touched for 171 passing. They're giving up 263 yards total, only allowing 12 points per game. Ithaca already trailing here at this point, 12-0. The defense trying to stiffen here and become tough against the Vikings. It is second down and 10 yards to go. And for the second time, quarterback Greg Wallace has come to the center, pulled away, and called for a timeout. 6:56 remains in the second quarter. There's a timeout with the score Augustana 12 and Ithaca nothing.
Oh, man, George here for LaSalle Electronics, where we've got the best prices in town. In fact, we have to mark it down and mark it down fast, because the remaining inventory we've got in stock has to go by December 31st or we pay taxes on it. And remember, for a limited time only, a free $50 phono cartridge with any purchase of $100 or more. So remember, shop everybody else. Shop in every town. Then come to LaSalle Electronics for the best deals, the best prices on the best equipment.
I'll see your 5 and raise you 5 more. I think you're bluffing, Ed. Ah, don't move a paw. Every time I get a good hand, the lights go.
When the odds are against you, a John Deere generator is one sure bet.
You didn't look at my cards, did you, Ed? Oh. I know you can see in the dark. I'll see your 5 and bump you 5 more, Ed.
So the Augustana Viking cheerleaders here are trying to root their team on, keep warm at the same time?
I don't think so. I think they're trying to just stay alive.
There you see the story of this football game. Augustana with a 2-touchdown lead midway through, as Jim Butterfield says things have got to change here, and he knows his team is in a bit of trouble with the Vikings, the ball near midfield, and with the Vikings the wind to their backs. Dennis Frakes is in the slot right side as a wingback. They've also got a wingback, Price, coming in motion now. Here's a pitch back to Price, trying to turn the corner, gets into Augustana territory and finds a hole. He gets down to around the 31-yard line. So a nice run. It's going to be nearly a 20-yard run for Brad Price.
Brought down the 31.
A national sprint champion. You've got to be aware of where Brad Price is on the field. That time he was at the wingback position. You've got to be aware of where he is because he's got that tremendous breakaway speed and running ability. What's the block right here on the outside? Shane McCormick makes a key block. One of the things you've got to do in this system and the way Augustana runs its offense is you've got to help each other. It's a position. It's not a team or an individual guy.
Back live, you see Guerreri running the ball. Bob Guerreri getting inside the 25 down to around the 23-yard line.
Bob Reed made the comment to me. He says, Steve, our whole offense, our whole concept is really predicated on the team concept. The position will get the yardage, not the individual, and you've got to block. That's why Brad Price blocks and has made some good blocks for Shane McCormick and vice versa.
It is 2nd down and 2 yards to go for the Augustana Vikings at the Ithaca 24-yard line. From that right hash mark, again, they run the ball straight ahead and not much as the blue-clad Bombers came in there and made the big hit at around the 21-yard line.
I've got to figure out something about some of the Augustana students. I've seen some of them in Hawaiian shirts, shorts, and
let me tell you, they say it's about 0 up there, and so this might seem like Hawaii when it's 35 down here.
No. It's a 25-mile-an-hour wind. I mean, I expect a surfboard and sail any minute. There they are. Yeah. Those guys got to be we got to talk to their parents. That guy just acts like he's real comfortable. He's got his hands in his swimming trunks.
Well, so far for Augustana, it has been a day at the beach with a 12-0 lead. They've had things going pretty much the way here so far with 5:47 remaining in our 2nd quarter. It is 1st down. 10 yards to go. The Vikings have a dozen first downs already.
What's impressive is Augustana's been able to control the ball game with their attack. They've not been forced out of their character.
McCormick's the fullback. Price in motion from the slot back. Takes the pitch, hurdles his way. Inside the 20, he was hit hard there in the backfield. Kevin Farrell, the cornerback, came up tight and made the first hit.
Boy, Price is such an explosive little runner. 5'5" is his height. Watch him. He gets a good stick right here from Kevin Farrell, number 45. But he is so quick and elusive, and feet always under him, and never gets out of control, always moving forward.
He's 4th on Augustana's all-time rushing list with over 2,000 career yards at 5 feet 5 inches. This is Wallace on the option. The pitch back to Frakes, and he'll go down. A big hit by Jamie Rosen. The cornerback came up and made a nice solo tackle. Rosen, a midfielder on the lacrosse Ithaca lacrosse team. He's a versatile athlete.
That time Wallace took the option play outside, made the wrong decision. There was no one to block. He was pitching to what we call a naked back, who basically has no one in front of him. There was an outside defensive player from Ithaca. He was right in front of him. It was a poor decision. The quarterback should have just taken the short game, turned it upfield.
So now it's 3rd down, 11 yards to go as the Bombers dig in defensively, and they respond to the challenge. On 3rd and 11, they were coming hard, and they make the hit on the Vikings.
The two linebackers, McCauley and Mara. What's Mara? He takes a chance. They're going to blitz. They go, and they both have kind of a meeting of the minds right there together. McCauley, 58, who's a backup linebacker. They lost Mike Close earlier in the season, and so he took his place, and then Mara stepped up in the hole and made the good tackle.
And so the Vikings on 4th and 13. Going to go for it all here on 4th and 13. Price to the left. McCormick is the fullback. Frakes is the wingback on the right. It's Wallace heaving the ball down the field toward the goal line, and it's going to be intercepted at about the 1-yard line is where the Ithaca Bombers is David Greenspan, a deep cornerback there. Well, it was a situation where he could have caught the ball or let it fall.
Boy, I tell you, that's a tough decision on the part of a secondary back. Now watch. He doesn't know where the receiver is. He's watching the ball, so he has the feeling, I've got to go for the football. He's right close to the end zone. Had he known where the receiver was, just let the ball fall. But rarely do you do that. Your nature is, as a defensive back, is to make the interception. And he did the right thing. But obviously put his team in perfect punt, basically, if you want to call it, for Augustana.
Ithaca huddled in the end zone. They have it at the 1-yard line. And they're going to go straight ahead here and try and get a little breathing room out to around the 4-yard line.
You know, good things are happening for you when you can be in 4th down and long situation as the clock ticks away towards halftime. To be in a situation where you decide not to punt, you throw an interception, and you put them on your 1-yard line.
Picked up a couple on the play. It will be 2nd down and about 7 yards to go. Anglem is in the slot right and at the top of your screen. Number 27, Pete Minturn, is wide to the right. Cass will run the ball again, just push it out across the 5 as he hands the ball off.
Except for the first drive, Ithaca really has just been, just shut down, really. They've not been able to do anything in their offense, which is a frustration, obviously.
Came out passing effectively early when they had the wind in the first quarter. Now going against the wind and deep in their own territory. Jim Butterfield is remaining cautious here, and he's trying to get some room here to operate. 3rd and 6 from the 5-yard line. Now Cass, rolling right, will run the football out across the 10 and sandwiched it around the 11-yard line.
Cass on the quarterback keeper.
Cass, coming into this game, had 362 yards rushing. He's a 3-year starter off and on. There have been times this year where he has been benched in place of Mike Lidaw, but he, by and large, has been the quarterback at Ithaca for a few years.
Jerry Boys, the offensive coach, the backfield coach for Ithaca, really felt like that the key in the ball game was how well Steve Cass could perform, that they were going to put the pressure on Steve, that he was going to have a great performance, and that they were going to have to execute their offense. That was the importance of coming in the ball game, what they felt like they had to do.
So they got their important first down out to the 12-yard line. And again, a running play to the fullback, Kevin Macri. And Macri has a good run, his best of the day, out to the 24-yard line. Macri, with 458 yards rushing coming into this game, runs it to the 24.
Kevin Macri is a kid at the beginning of the season was the 3rd-team fullback, and he's fought through the season. He's earned a starting spot, gets a good block in the offensive line, and breaks in there. The strong physical back, the real success story, really, the Ithaca offense, that he was a 3rd-team player and to be starting in the game for the national championship.
Another first down for the Bombers. 1:22, though, in the 2nd quarter is all that remains. Pass to pass. He's got Minturn. A nice catch by Minturn at the 37-yard line. Minturn, his 26th catch of the year. He's been the leading receiver for this Ithaca team the last 2 seasons.
Pete Minturn, number 27, the senior, 5'8", 163 pounds, is considered really the big play potential of this offense. The fact that he always goes full speed, will never, not worry about sacrificing his body. He will put everything into it. Good catch.
Under a minute now in the 2nd quarter. That's Cass rolling left, throwing the deep home run ball. He's got George Mack diving, can't come up with the ball. He overthrew Mack by about a yard or 2. It's going to bring up 2nd and 10.
I really believe that if Ithaca will try to do more of going deep and challenging this Augustana defensive secondary, I really believe that they're suspect. I believe that they can get their quick guys, Minturn or Mack, into the secondary against the guys like Mark Long and Mike Gray, the 2 deep safeties. I think they're trying to think too much run. They've seen a lot of run, and I just think that they're vulnerable.
So it's 2nd down, 10 yards to go. You have to like the way Cass threw that ball long as he did into the wind like that, overthrew his receiver. The Bombers have asked for another ball switch here. And that's what the slight pause in the play was for. And now they break the huddle with Lynch wide to the left and Minturn wide left. They're out of your screen there now as the running backs are split. And Cass will run the ball to Huth. And Sean Huth gets out across the 40 to the 41-yard line. Huth had 172 yards and a touchdown in last week's game. And believe it or not, in this playoffs, Huth missed the Montclair game to go to his sister's wedding.
You know, the Ithaca coaches really felt like that their team has been a team under adversity. They've had to come from behind 5 times during the 1985 season, whereas Augustana has always been on top. They've dominated teams, and I really feel like that they feel like in the second half to come back and to be that team that's had to fight back through it. You know, Ithaca felt like that was a positive in their favor.
Ithaca's had some close games, witnessed the 13-12 victory over Union, then had a 15-12 win at Hobart, and they've been in some tough encounters, and we're going to have to try and come from behind in this one in the second half. But they've had a decent drive here in the final 2 minutes of this first half. You'll recall they got the ball at the 1-yard line, and now they've pushed it out across the 40. Time is a factor, however, though, with but 44 seconds remaining before halftime.
One of the quickest halves I've ever been a part of.
But it is a beautiful sunny day here in Phoenix City. However, the temperature is in the mid to upper 30s.
It's colder than that. I promise.
It's Cass dropping back, wanting to pass under heavy pressure. He throws it down the field. It is up for grabs and then falls incomplete. There was heavy pressure put on by the Augustana Vikings. And nearly an interception, too.
Augustana, as you said, puts a lot of pressure on Steve Cass. He goes to one way. A busted play. Steve turned back into the pursuit by the defense, made the mistake. I think the play probably was a busted play. And then he tried to find Huth, the open receiver, and he was well covered.
So Bill Toth will punt into the wind. And you see the effect the wind had on the ball. He hit it very well. The wind pushed it to the 37, and then it got Ithaca took an Augustana bounce. And so the Vikings will have the ball just across their own 40-yard line, you see, with under a half minute to go in the second quarter. Phoenix Municipal Stadium here in Phoenix City, Alabama. The site of the Amos Alonzo Stagg Bowl game. Glad you're with us for our telecast this afternoon. The Ithaca Bombers against the Augustana Vikings. 12-0 Augustana lead as quarterback Greg Wallace comes into the game. Eric Welgat is wide right. Bob Gereri is wide left. Wallace is going to hand the ball off. It is Price spinning and twisting to around the 44-yard line.
Play game 4 yards.
Interesting to see here if the Vikings don't let this clock run down, and now they've halted it momentarily here with 17 seconds left.
From the 45.
It's an amazing Augustana victory streak and quite a tradition for the Rock Island, Illinois school, affiliated with the Lutheran Church. 2,200 students enrolled at Augustana College, and the school founded back in 1860. They love their football. Well, they should, with 36 consecutive triumphs and going for a third straight Division III championship. 2nd and 6 is what awaits the Vikings. 45-yard line. Greg Wallace, number 18, coming back to the huddle after chatting with Bob Reed. Served as the offensive coordinator of his team. Interesting thing about Wallace, he didn't even play football last year. Played basketball and baseball, though. And as Steve alluded to earlier, Kirk Bednar was the Augustana starting quarterback until an injury to the knee pushed him out, and Wallace came to the forefront as the starting quarterback. He's looking to throw toward the sideline. He's got Welgat. Throws his way inside the 35, down to around the 33-yard line. So Welgat, who caught the touchdown pass, makes a grab here, and the Vikings are scrambling to try and get back to the line of scrimmage here. They're trying to get a playoff here as the clock momentarily stopped at 9 seconds. They stopped it while they set the down markers and exchanged the football. Perhaps the final play of the first half. And he quickly throws a sideline pass to Eric Welgat just to stop the clock with 4 seconds to go. And they have the ball at the 32-yard line.
Wallace, coming into the football game, had thrown only 57 passes, completing 19 of them. On the previous pass to Welgat, really threw a very good strike. Welgat drove the secondary backwards, put him on his heels, and then came forward to the open area and caught the pass.
So 4 seconds remaining here in the second quarter.
You know, it was funny, listening to the Ithaca coaches, they really just bluntly said Augustana is a one-dimensional football team. But if you're good at being one-dimensional, they can still beat you. And they are very good. That's right, they're very good at being one-dimensional.
And another whistle here. These final seconds taking a long time, and the reason for the delay here was just exactly that, a delay of game called against Augustana. This is going to push the ball back to the 37-yard line. So the Vikings will have it here with 4 seconds remaining, on top by a score of 12-0. The last Augustana defeat coming right here in the very stadium. Phoenix Municipal Stadium. It was the 1982 championship game when West Georgia shut out Augustana 14-0. That was some 37 games ago. Final play of the first half. Wallace dropping back, going for it all down the center of the field. It is incomplete. The horn sounds, and that signals the end of the first half as both teams head to their respective locker rooms. We reach the end of the first half here at the Stagg Bowl with the score, Augustana 12 and Ithaca nothing.
This Christmas, get your kids a little magic at Hardee's. Just buy any sandwich, fries, and Coke, and you can get the magic of a classic Disney character for just $2.19. Lady, Bambi, Dumbo, Pinocchio, and one of the 101 Dalmatians. A different Disney character each week at Hardee's.
Hardee's, where good people go, good food.
Time was to find out what was on television. You twisted the dial and adjusted the set. Now you have to adjust to a lot of new twists. There's local, network, cable, and pay TV. All those channels, all those choices. But TV Guide clears up the whole picture with primetime charts for instant focus, detailed listings for lasting color, guides to movies, sports, and specials, and crack reporting that fine-tunes your mindset. TV Guide helps you decide.
We are back at halftime here at the Division III National Championship game here at the Amos Alonzo Stagg Bowl in Phoenix City, Alabama. Both teams in the locker room huddling around their coaches. The Augustana Vikings are happy because they have a 12-0 lead at this point. Today's game being played in Phoenix City, Alabama. After a 3-year absence, the people glad to have this football game back. And we had a chance to take a look at some of the sights of Phoenix City, Alabama.
Phoenix City, the home of the Amos Alonzo Stagg Bowl and the NCAA Division III Championships. This year's Stagg Bowl is sponsored by the NCAA and the Phoenix City JCs, a group of young men and women dedicated to enhancing the future growth of their city. Phoenix City is a mid-sized town of 27,000, located along the west bank of the Chattahoochee River in east central Alabama. Phoenix City, a town steeped in the traditions and customs of the Deep South. A Sunbelt city on the verge of explosive growth and development. A modern, progressive town with a touch of down-home goodness. The mythical Phoenix bird symbolizes Phoenix City and its history. Its rise from a city known for its vices to the sort of town you'd like to raise a family in. A town known for its quality of life. Phoenix City, a metropolitan area with room for growth and expansion. Phoenix City, a place to call home.
Joining us now is Mr. Rocco Carzo, who is the athletic director at Tufts University, and he's also the chairman of the NCAA Division III Football Committee. I see you're bundled up. You're nice and warm.
A little chilly here, Mick.
It is a little bit chilly indeed, but we have a sunny day, and I'm sure the football players in the game are warmed up at this point. A 12-0 game, but a pretty good, hard-hitting game so far.
Well, I think it's an excellent game, and I don't think either team is cold. This is kind of a warm day for both teams coming out of New York and Illinois.
Yeah, you're, of course, the chairman of the Division III Football Committee, and you had an opportunity while you've been on the committee to see this game being played at two different sites as it's back here in Alabama now.
Well, we saw it last 2 years at Kings Island, of course, at the College Football Hall of Fame site, And that was a real nice experience for the Division III kids. And I think coming back to Alabama is a little bit better in terms of the weather, although today's not a testament. But this is a little better than 11 degrees that we had last year.
Certainly so, and we don't have any of the snow or anything that you might have in some portions of the north. The tournament this year has been expanded to 16 teams. I guess the coaches felt that give 8 more schools in would be a better opportunity.
Well, Mick, it was a tough situation. We have approximately 200 schools in Division III. And when you pick 8 teams out of 200, you're doing a 1-to-25 ratio. So we thought, in all fairness to the teams, that we had to go to a 16-team bracket. And that allows for a little more equitable selection. And I think in the past we've managed to not pick 2 or 3 undefeated teams a year. And this year we think we got a pretty good distribution all the way across the country.
And certainly 2 of the finest teams in Division III football, not only this season, but throughout the last 10 or 12 years. When you talk about Ithaca, more playoff appearances than anyone else, and then the 2-time champion Augustana, you've got some great teams here.
Yeah, there's no question about it. If you look at the coaching records of the 2 schools and the 2 coaches involved over the last 10 years, they're really phenomenal.
Mr. Rocco Carzo has been our guest, gracious enough to stop by. Good chatting with you, and good luck.
Thank you, Mick. My pleasure.
We'll return to Phoenix City, Alabama, have more of our halftime following this timeout.
A lot of companies have names that sound like Roto-Rooter. Well, they may sound like Roto-Rooter, but when you have a clogged line or drain, you're gonna find out something. They don't work like Roto-Rooter. So don't take chances. Call the real Roto-Rooter. We can clear any drain in the house in minutes.
Call Roto-Rooter, that's the name. There's only one.
Hawk fans, only 18 seats remain on Activate's Rose Bowl trip. Call South Park Travel now or be left out. South Park Travel and Activate have the best Rose Bowl package in the area. Round-trip air, Moline to L.A., including all transfers, 5 nights at the Mayfair Hotel, reserved seats for the parade, reserved tickets for the game, escorts transfers to and from every event while you're in Pasadena, all for just $8.59. Air only an incredibly low $4.89. Call South Park Travel now. This really is the best Rose Bowl package in town, and only 18 seats remain.
It's the Augustana Vikings 12 and the Ithaca Bombers nothing here at halftime. Ithaca College, located in central New York State, is about 4.5 hours from New York City, about 3.5 hours from the city of Buffalo. And let's have a further look now at Ithaca College.
Ithaca College, nestled in the hills of beautiful upstate New York, is the largest private residential college in New York State. Noted for diversity, innovation, and excellence, Ithaca serves some 5,600 students with over 90 degree programs. From the School of Allied Health Professions to the School of Music, Ithaca provides unique educational opportunities designed to fit the needs of each student. The School of Humanities and Sciences provides a complete liberal arts setting, along with the option to combine a strong humanities background with specialized training in one of Ithaca's 5 professional schools: communications, allied health professions, business, music, and health, physical education, and recreation. An education at Ithaca encourages students to explore diverse interests, to take an innovative approach to education, and to set a standard of academic and professional excellence. Ithaca College, an education for life.
We'll return for more of our halftime festivities, but first, we'll pause for this.
Introducing the perfect snowblower for the average homeowner. The 5-horsepower John Deere. Narrow enough for tight spaces, yet clears a 2-foot path. It handles like a smaller machine, but throws snow as well as a big one. And since it is a John Deere, it won't let you down when the snow won't let up. The 5-horse John Deere. Now there's no reason the average homeowner has to settle for the average snowblower.
Practical doesn't have to mean uninspired when you choose gifts from True Value Hardware Stores. An Intermatic programmable timer controls lights while you're away, and it's only $7.49. Inflate tires quickly with the Campbell Hausfeld Emergency Air Compressor for just $29.99. The GE Desktop Charger for economical rechargeable batteries is only $18.88. And be prepared on the road or at home with the Rayovac 5-way light, just $12.99. at participating True Value hardware stores and home centers.
The Augustana Vikings with a 12-0 lead at halftime of this game. And Augustana College is located in the Quad Cities in western Illinois on the Illinois-Iowa border. Now let's have a further look at Augustana College.
Augustana has 164 yards rushing.
Augustana College is a 4-year liberal arts institution located in Rock Island, Illinois, 165 miles west of Chicago. Its rolling 110-acre campus lies among wooded hills that overlook the scenic Mississippi River Valley. Augustana was founded in 1860 by Scandinavian immigrants, educated in the academic tradition of Northern Europe's great classical universities. Today, more than 2,000 Augustana students are enrolled in a curriculum that emphasizes breadth and excellence, and which enables them to choose from virtually all major fields of study. A chapter of Phi Beta Kappa attests to the quality of the Augustana experience, which places priority on direct personal contact between professors and students. Augustana's tradition of academic excellence also includes national recognition of outstanding performance by students in speech, music, and NCAA Division III athletics.
And we'll return with the second half kickoff after these messages.
It was late in December, the sky turned to snow. All around the day was going down slow. Night like a river beginning to flow. I felt the beat of my mind go drifting into time passages. Yes, go falling in the fading light. Time passages.
Since our beginning in 1852, we have survived 5 wars, 26 administrations, 3 monetary systems, and a Great Depression.
Time passages.
Throughout it all, we have continued to wish holiday joy to our families and yours. The First National Bank of the Quad Cities.
Tonight's game is being brought to you in part by your John Deere dealers. Nothing runs like a Deere. By Hardee's, where good people go for good food. By True Value Hardware Stores. The more you've got to do, the more you need True Value Hardware Stores. They've got what it takes. And by the First National Bank of the Quad Cities, members of Quad Cities First Company and FDIC.
It's the 1985 NCAA Division III Football Championship game from Phoenix Municipal Stadium in Phoenix City, Alabama. It's the Augustana Vikings 12 and the Ithaca Bombers nothing. So our halftime score is 12-0, and Augustana has pretty much dominated many of the statistical categories in this first half, too, Steve, as a matter of fact.
Well, I think what Augustana wanted to accomplish more than anything else was to control the ball, have no mistakes, and no turnovers, and they've been able to do just that in the first half. They have totally dominated the football game. The statistical margins of that they have over Ithaca are obvious. I think the key point is the amount of time they control the ball. 30 minutes in the first half, they had it for 20 minutes, no turnovers. turnovers, the statistical margins they have in yardage, and really Ithaca, they really felt like they had to come in and have a balanced attack. They've got a balanced attack, but they've not been productive, and Steve Cass has not been able to come out of his shell and execute the football team.
It's also noteworthy that Augustana threw 8 passes in the first half, and here is a team that came in averaging only 7, but they were able to throw the ball when they had some wind in the second quarter.
Well, that was an important point, to be able to utilize to their strength and take advantage, and those guys are a lot more. They're having fun. They're having hot dogs and wearing their Hawaiian shirts.
Ice cold soft drinks. That's what it's all about. The NCAA Division III football championship game, the Amos Alonzo Stagg Bowl, between a pair of Division III powerhouses. Of course, as many of you should know, the Division III players are players without scholarship. Many fine athletes here who are in very difficult fields of study. You'll find future doctors, lawyers, dentists, and whatnot, and they're working hard at the books as well as working hard in the football field, and they're enjoying themselves here this afternoon. We're halfway through this game. Settle back now and enjoy the second half of the Stagg Bowl. It'll be the Ithaca Bombers trailing 12-0 who will receive the third quarter kickoff here. To start, Ithaca will have to go into the wind again here in the third quarter. They've got Charlie Pope, Pete Minturn, standing at the 5-yard line. Layton's into the football. The second half is underway. It's Minturn at the 5, up to the 10, across the 15, up the middle of the field to the 20, and to the 25-yard line. Pete Minturn, who averages about 15 yards per kickoff return, running the ball back for the Ithaca Bombers. They'll have the football here at the 25-yard line, some 75 yards away from the Augustana goal line. Augustana this year is allowing only 6 points per game. It leads the nation. Defensive points allowed. You got the good quarterback staying with Steve Cass, pitching the ball out to Macri. Macri trying to get around the left side. Hard, crashing helmet hitting, you heard, there at the 27-yard line. Macri, 178-pound junior.
Play picks up 3 yards.
Running the football in the first half, he had 3 carries for 18 yards. His long gain in the first half was a 12-yard run. This time he picks up about 3. It'll be second down and 7 yards to go.
I think that's the key of the ball game, that Cass has not been able to come out of his shell, only throwing 7 times, completing 3 passes. I think that's the important factor. He's going to have a great second half.
They've got a double wide formation to the right side. Running backs are split. Cass pitches the ball back to Sean Huth, the short side of the field, and Huth hit at around the 30-yard line. Short gain of perhaps 2 yards for the Bombers, with a record of 11 victories and only 1 defeat. Head coach Jim Butterfield, 58 years old in his 19th season. He's recorded 133 victories, only 53 losses, 1 tie. Third down, 5 yards to go. John Anglem is wide right side. George Mack wide to the left. Running backs are split on a 3rd and 5 situation for Steve Cass. Cass wanted to go upstairs. Can't find a man. He was well defensed there. Troy Westerman was right on George Mack on the near sideline. They'll bring up a punting situation for the Bombers. In the first half, Bill Toth punted 4 times for a 27-yard average.
Boy, I'm convinced Ithaca's going to have to do something different. You know, Darrell Royal said one time that, you got to dance with the one that brung you to the dance. The philosophy is whatever you do, whatever's gotten you somewhere, go ahead. But sometimes the girls' dance doesn't work. You got to change. You got to do something.
And here's a high punt. Coming down at around the 45-yard line. He punted into the wind now, so it's going to be out of bounds at the 44-yard line. The Vikings get the ball with an even 14 minutes to play in the third quarter, and the score is Augustana 12 and Ithaca nothing.
Oh, man, George here for LaSalle Electronics, where we've got the best prices in town. In fact, we have to mark it down and mark it down fast, because the remaining inventory we've got in stock has to go by December 31st, or we pay taxes on it. And remember, for a limited time only, a free $50 phono cartridge with any purchase of $100 or more. So remember, shop everybody else. Shop in every town. Then come to LaSalle Electronics for the best deals, the best prices on the best equipment.
Oh, I sure love it here in Florida, but I missed the snow, so I brought a load with me. But I want you to know the reason I can be here is that my elfin friends at Waterbed Creations have offered to help me with the heavy work again this year. And this time it's 2 for 1. Buy any waterbed for $500 or more, and they'll give you a free youth bed. Buy a Carmel on a drawer pedestal with a waveless mattress and a set of sheets for $505 and get a free youth bed. I don't know how they do it at Waterbed Creations, but you can rest assured.
First and 10 from the 45-yard line.
So with even 14 minutes to play here in the third quarter, Augustana with a 12-0 lead has the football. Ithaca showing blitz a little bit there, but here's a running play to Brad Price trying to turn the corner, sweep to the right side, short side of the field, picks up maybe 2 yards. In the first half, Price rushed the ball 13 times for 63 yards. His long gainer was a 22-yard romp.
Second down 9 from the 46.
Wallace, 5 of 8, 68 yards. Pretty effective in that first half, and had a touchdown pass to boot. That was a 23-yarder to Eric Welgat, who would put Augustana into the lead it enjoys now, 12-0. Price to the 48. So it will bring up a third down. As you see Bob Guerreri talking to Bob Reed on the Augustana sideline. Dennis Frakes also comes into the picture. They're the two wingbacks. So let's see what Bob Reed and company has in store now for the Vikings. They're facing third down and 6 yards to go. They've got Price, Guerreri, and McCormick. Wallace going over the middle. It's incomplete. He tried to go with a quick hitter to Eric Welgat. He had his hands on the ball, but couldn't hang on.
Again, Ithaca is inviting the pass out of Augustana because they're running with that 9-man front, 2-deep secondary look, and so they're inviting Augustana to come out of their game plan, trying to shut off the run, and that's, of course, that's how the touchdown was scored earlier.
So Augustana will punt the ball. John Layton will do the honors. He punted twice in the first half for 21-yard average. He had one partially deflected. It's a high snap. He goes up and gets the ball and hits it very high toward the sideline. Minturn lets it bounce in front of him with the 20. Now backs off as it takes a nice roll for the Augustana Vikings. It rolls inside the 10-yard line. And so once again, the Vikings have pinned Ithaca way back, but there is a penalty marker downfield and around the 46-yard line where the flag was thrown. 12:57 remaining in the third quarter. And it's a holding call against Augustana. So the Vikings had Ithaca pinned inside the 10-yard line, but they were guilty of a hold.
Well, Ithaca at that time had the full forcing unit, all their men on up on the line of scrimmage. What you do as an offensive lineman in those situations is sometimes you feel like you've got to get an edge. When you see 2 men or 3 men in your area that you've got to block, then you start to cheat a little bit, grab hold, do something, anything to slow him down so you don't get the punt blocked.
10 yards.
So the penalty, 10 yards. It pushed the ball back for Augustana to the Viking 39.
Again, they've got full 10-man rush.
Minturn is the only man deep for Ithaca. He's standing inside his 30-yard line. So perhaps the Bombers are coming here. We'll see.
It'll be a good fake if you don't.
They are coming, and they're going to force Layton out of the pocket. He can't get it off. He's got to run it, and so it paid off. And Ithaca would have been pinned down inside its 10, now has great field position at the Augustana 31-yard line.
Ithaca really felt like they had the better kicking game. This is a mistake. It will not go in the turnover column, but it will go down as a mistake. The kicking game in big football games, championship games, will get you killed. It's a mistake, a high snap. The punter couldn't get the ball away. He was forced out of bounds. Now Ithaca's got the ball in first down situation.
All right, quarterback Steve Cass has great field position. Let's see if they can take advantage here. The Bombers trailing 12-0. Cass wants to pass. He's going down over the middle. He's got Lynch, who can't hang on to the ball. He drops the ball at the 20-yard line.
So many times in athletics, you get that situation. You know when you play tennis?
Yes.
You play tennis good. You ever had that slam shot where you know you just knock the ball away and then you just all of a sudden it's your turn. You're going to slam it and you choke. That time Lynch had no one around him. Had the ball. All he has to do is catch it. He's thinking about that first step, which way he's going to move, and he dropped the ball.
It's a situation where you don't think, but you just react, I guess.
I'm glad you play tennis.
Did too much thinking.
I bet you slam it hard.
Every once in a while. Here's a pass to Huth in the backfield, and Huth gets inside the 25. Cass displayed some great patience that time under heavy pressure.
I really like Steve Cass, and I think he really is a versatile performer. Watch him this time, drops back, rolling out, looks to his right, and then throws it back. Soft pitch. That's what you've got to have to do, to have the touch as a quarterback, to know when you've got to drive the ball and when you've got to throw it light. He throws it to Huth, and he's able to make a good gain.
Huth had caught only 5 passes in the first 12 games, so this is number 6 on the season. It was a big one.
It's only his second start, too.
Third down, a yard to go. Running backs are split. Macri got it. 20-yard line. Kevin Macri running the ball for Jim Butterfield's Ithaca Bombers.
Augustana coaches really felt like that if Scott Francis, number 99, and Brian King, number 77, the nose guard, and Thompson, number 82, the other tackle, if those 3 players could control the middle of the Ithaca offensive line, they really felt like they would have the decided edge. They have played very well, and Ithaca has got very few yards inside those people.
So a good ground level look at the trenches here. With Cass rolling to his right. He's throwing, but Mack slipped down. The intended receiver, number 21, you saw George Mack go down at around the 10-yard line.
George Mack is a fast receiver. Watch him as he tries to plant. Watch him plant. He tries to plant that right foot to come for the ball, to come forward. He tries to plant it. The turf was wet. It rained here extensively on Thursday. The turf is a little bit wet underneath, trying to plant the foot, and he goes down.
Mack's a junior, but as a freshman, he was the leading receiver for Ithaca. Pete Minturn has been the leading receiver the last 2 years, and it is Minturn who is wide to the right. Lynch in the slot right on 2nd and 10. Cass on the draw to Youth, and Augustana stayed home that time, and they didn't fool him at all.
Augustana has such strength. They're 245, 220, and 241 in that front. They outweigh the offensive line of Ithaca. The draw play is just not a real effective play against this kind of defense. They're not a quick defense. The draw play works on quick, reacting, penetrating style defenses, not teams that set in there, that are intelligent, that cover their area, and that's what kind of defense Augustana is.
They had the play well read, and they defensed it well. So it is 3rd and 13. 11 minutes to play, 3rd quarter. The Bombers trailing. And they force him out of the pocket. Glenn Thompson bear hugged him down at around the 23-yard line. Thompson is 6'2", 241, a junior from Bloomington, Illinois, a 3-year starter and a high school state wrestling champion in Illinois. So now it is 4th down, and Ithaca trying desperately to get on the scoreboard. Going to try and kick a field goal. The Bombers here have Nick Guerrera in, 6 of 10. This will be a 39-yard try. They sent it to 29. Guerrera's into the ball. It's high enough, but it is going to be wide to the left side. He had the distance, but not the direction. And so at 10:18 to play in the 3rd quarter, there's a timeout with the score remaining. Augustana 12, Ithaca nothing.
Jacques Poré, logger extraordinaire.
Bonjour, monsieur.
I see you're using a John Deere chainsaw.
Oh oui, bien sûr. Elle possède une puissance étonnante. Elle est légère et elle coupe même les plus grosses herbes à la planche. Boum! Il tombe instantanément.
How about the features?
Fantastique. Ignition électronique, elle fonctionne en souplesse. Et regarde, la poignée est protégée. C'est une magnifique tronçonneuse. Oh, non. Magnifique tronçonneuse.
This Christmas, get your kids a little magic at Hardee's. Just buy any sandwich, fries, and Coke, and you can get the magic of a classic Disney character for just $2.19. Lady, Bambi, Dumbo, Pinocchio, and one of the 101 Dalmatians. A different Disney character each week at Hardee's.
Hardee's, where good people go, good food.
And it is the fullback, Shane McCormick, getting the call.
That particular drive really showed you something. Ithaca had the mistake. They got the ball in good field position. Then they were unable to move the ball. That shows you the strength of the Augustana defense and how difficult it is for Ithaca to really put the ball in the end zone. They had the chance, and it just shows you that the difference is right now where the two teams are.
Second down and 9. There's a fumble, and Ithaca has recovered the fumble. Wallace never had a hand on it as he tried to hand it off, and the Bombers were right there to surround the football, and so now let's see if they can take advantage of this opportunity.
Let's see what happens. McCormick is trying to go to the, he was trying to go to the outside belly play. He faked inside to McCormick. Wallace had the ball. Let's see what happens. Maybe he was, well, I don't know. I think he was not trying to give it to McCormick. He just didn't pull the ball out of the stomach of the fullback to make the second play on the outside belly play and drop the ball.
So the Vikings, who had been error-free to this point, have committed one, and the Bombers have the ball. First and 10 for Ithaca at the Augie 23-yard line. It is Cass dropping back and throwing the ball out of bounds. He was trying to hit Pete Minturn. He was well defensed. Kevin Camille was covering on the sideline.
Augustana's defensive secondary is giving enough cushion to the Ithaca backs, especially to Minturn and Mack, the two speed receivers for Ithaca. I really believe they need to throw the out route, the quick routes, and then try to cheat and find a chance where maybe they can hit the deep route or press a little bit on the secondary deep backs.
But you would agree this is a very key possession here because they failed a moment ago. They've got to put some points on the board.
They've got to. They've got to find the winning combination right now. They've got two wide receivers this side this time.
On second and 10. Cass rolling left. Going to go short. A big hit there made as Macri made the catch, but he paid for it as Mark Long was in there covering for Augustana.
The secondary really gives a lot of cushion. Watch them. They're afraid to let the speed backs. Minturn's 27. Look at Minturn. He's got no one's around him for 5 yards. He's on the far outside, number 27 to the left, and they're giving him too much cushion. Now start throwing the ball to him. Keep forcing. Don't lose your patience with him. Throw the ball to him a couple of times. Make them come up and play pass defense.
They've got a 3rd and 8. 21-yard line. A short 8, long 7, if you will. Cass is in trouble. He puts it up for grabs. The ball is incomplete. Oh, my. Cass put a ball up there, kind of a dying quail into this stiff breeze.
Generally, that illustrates the frustration on the part of Steve Cass that he's not been able to be successful. He's been kind of pushed around a little bit today. Everybody's been falling on him. He's not getting the protection he needs, and out of desperation, he throws a very poor, dangerous pass. If it would have been intercepted, it would have been a touchdown.
On the previous 4th down, they were tried for 3. Now they face 4th and 8 from the 21-yard line. They disdain any field goal try.
And they've got Minturn 27 and Lynch, the two speed receivers out to the same side.
It is a double wide right for Cass, throwing the short ball. He's underthrown his man. So the Vikings have held, and Ithaca fails for the second time to convert deep in the Augustana territory. That's the way it's going here for the Bombers, who trail with 8:52 to play in the 3rd quarter. They're down by 2 touchdowns.
There's no doubt that what's happening, the key to the ball game is on Augustana's defense. Those 3 people, Francis, King, and Thompson, being able to control and put all the pressure on Steve Cass and not allow him to run his offensive attack. They're pulling Ithaca out of their character.
So the Augustana Vikings, a 12-0 lead and the football. The wingback Guerreri across the 25 up to around the 27-yard line. Guerreri carried 6 times for 41 yards in the first half. Time is an ally of the Vikings here. 8.5 remaining in the 3rd quarter and a 12-0 lead. It'll be 2nd and 3. McCormick is the fullback behind Wallace, who backs out the signal. They stick it into the ribs of Dennis Frakes. Frakes is trying to crawl across the 30-yard line. Pickup of 2.
That time you saw Greg Wallace in the previous series. He fumbled the ball after he was taking it out of Sean McCormick's stomach on the first fake of the belly play. That time he made sure he put it in the stomach, secured a good fake by the fullback McCormick, and then when Frakes came for the ball, he made sure that Frakes had it. Always as a quarterback, what you want to do, Mick, is be able, when you put the ball in the stomach of the player that you're going to get it, make sure you give it a firm push so he knows you've got the ball, now don't drop it.
Never happened to you, did it?
Sure. Yeah, my offense it did a lot. I told you, didn't I tell you this week that the offense we ran at Oklahoma was pitch, keep, or fumble? I tried to perfect it. I had the last part of that deal down. I had no problem with it. Pitch, keep, or fumble. Augustana does not fumble very often. They really don't. They could, these guys, they couldn't fit in at Oklahoma because they don't fumble enough.
It's third down, a yard to go for the Vikings. They're at the 30-yard line. They pack it in tight, those three backs. Kind of line up in that wishbone a little bit there. There's movement. And obviously, Shane McCormick is the guilty party here. A costly one on 3rd and 1.
On the penalty flag.
Again, Ithaca's defense, they bark their signals. It's a command-type system. They're yelling and calling their coverages, calling it and causing a little bit Augustana. There's their defense. 9 men are up on the line. The linebackers are calling out the signals, and that's why you get a reaction. And that's why Augustana's jumped off sides 2 or 3 times in the ball game. I wonder if they don't bark the signals, yell a little bit louder when it's 3rd and 1, 4th and 1. And that's borderline.
It's borderline,
yeah,
isn't it?
It's borderline. There's not really a rule. It's in the code of ethics that you would cause to get an improper start, and that's the question that was raised at some meetings this week.
So it's 3rd and 6. 25-yard line. McCormick, Price, and Frakes are the running backs. Pitch back to Price, trying to tweak the corner, turns the corner to the 30, hard hitting there. Dave Molay, number 63, made the initial hit at about the 32-yard line. Molay is 242 pounds, and Price is only 165 pounds.
The option play. Watch Wallace come down the line of scrimmage. They're forcing a quick pitch this time. Now Brad Price has the ball. If you're going to play defense and force the quarterback to pitch the ball quickly, then you better be a secondary back. The man that has pitch responsibility has to react quicker. He has to be there because all of a sudden the play reacts. It happens quicker, and you've got to be in a position to make the play. You can't leave Brad Price out running around at 16 times today, 77 yards. And you can't allow him to do those things.
Almost 5 yards per carry. This is Price again, churning and pushing up to the 40-yard line. Picks up 5. Price now over 80 yards rushing in this game. Price has had some big games. He had 169 yards against Illinois Wesleyan, had 153 in the victory against North Park, and as we mentioned, is over 2,100 yards for his Augustana career. 6:10 and counting down in the 3rd quarter. It's been scoreless in this quarter. Augustana holding a 12-0 lead. Wallace sticks the ball into Dennis Frakes, and Frakes gets to around the 43-yard line. Frakes, a 170-pound sophomore from Canton, Illinois. He has nearly 500 yards rushing on the season.
Play game 4 yards. 3rd down 1.
A lot of atmosphere here at Phoenix City. We're excited about this game. They promised us some warm southern hospitality. We've had that. They were a little apologetic about the temperatures not being as warm as they would have hoped.
Yeah, the hospitality was here. The warmth was.
3rd down and 1 yard to go. There's Wallace. It's McCormick. He's across the 45, maybe to the 46. They needed a yard to go. They called on their big fullback. There you see 5:14 remaining. Clock stopped momentarily here as we get a reading on the play. It's a 1st down for the Vikings. Vikings had 13 first downs in the first half to only 5 for Ithaca. Augustana's 4th straight appearance in the Stagg Bowl game and their 5th straight playoff appearance. 36 consecutive victories riding on this game. 1st and 10 for Wallace. Got a man. McCormick, the fullback, to the 44-yard line. Pick up of about 10 yards. McCormick not known as a receiver, as the fullback, but he got in the flat that time and got open.
I think you've got to admire Bob Reed and his coaching staff for being able to be reactive to what's happening by the Ithaca defense. Ithaca is playing a defense a little bit out of character, trying to force them to throw the ball and almost say, making them, you know, challenged to get out of their character, and they're not afraid to do so. They're not afraid to go and throw the ball, even though that's not their tendency. A lot of times coaches just get a mindset that they're going to run their offense and there's nothing you can do to change us, and yet Bob Reed and his staff has had the ability to say, no, they're going to give us those opportunities. We're going to go and take advantage of them.
Get a good look on the stretch of the chain there, which indicates just a quart low, maybe. Quart low. So it's going to be a little more needed for Greg Wallace, the Augustana Vikings. Interesting thing about Augustana, they have only 6 seniors on offense and defense that leave. They'll get 16 starters back next year. And, they're going to have a powerhouse, and we're looking at a legend here, Steve, or a dynasty, if you will, in this division of football.
Well, they've won a tremendous amount of football games. You know, one thing, the streak that they have going, though, really the Augustana coaches, they really feel like that's not the important. The media makes a big deal of the fact that they've got the long winning streak, but the players, it just means another opportunity to win national championships, and they don't let the streak mentality really affect the way they play.
Second down, foot to go. It's Guerreri. Guerreri may have gotten the yard with the foot. Now the yard as he gets up to about the 43-yard line. The wingback out of Elmhurst, Illinois, a junior, Bob Guerreri, got the call.
On the first down. Play gain 1 yard.
Keep the drive alive. They've got the ball at the Ithaca 43.
Really, Augustana does not have all that of a complete offense. When you think of playbooks and the pro game and Division I, they've got the inside and the outside belly, the option play, and a dive play, and that's all they run. But they run them very well.
Got a 1st and 10 here, and they're going to be snuffed under there, back to about the 45-yard line. The Bombers respond there and make the hit on Price.
Play loses 1 yard.
Joe Mara,
Second down 11.
over 70 tackles on the season. Now tell me that Mara is an exploratory major out of Schenectady, New York.
What is that?
Don't ask.
Okay. You said it.
I'll have to explore that one.
Okay, yeah, find out what that means.
This is Guerreri trying to get outside. He stiff arms his way to around the 40-yard line. It's a gain of about 4 as he put the right hand down on Jamie Rosen, the cornerback, and rode him to around the 40-yard line.
Jamie Rosen's quite a story. 5'8", 175-pound senior. He's the best pass defender, an excellent player. He does all the right things, but you know he's an exceptional student. Ithaca starts their finals next week, and he brought his books. He's got this will top your study, I bet. He's got a chemistry test on Monday. He's going to go to med school, and he's really concerned about cutting the grade in the chemistry class next week.
3rd and 7. The fullback inside the 40. As they unpile there. So it's going to be 4th down as John Layton, the Augustana punter, will come into the game. And Layton has an opportunity now with the slight breeze to his back, although the wind has died somewhat from the opening kickoff. He'll have a wind to his back, and he'll probably try and nail that ball somewhere down inside that 10-yard line. That will be his goal. Pete Minturn back to receive. 10-yard line. Layton will hit it somewhere around his 48-yard line. Bombers with 10 men on the line. A low snap, hits the ground. He does a nice job to get the kick off. Under heavy pressure, Minturn feels the catch at the 8-yard line, and he gets to the 10. So that was a rather bizarre play. But Ithaca will have the ball inside the 10-yard line. A minute and a half to go, 3rd quarter. Augustana leading 12-0.
It was late in December, the sky turned to snow. All around the day was going down slow. Night like a river beginning to flow. I felt the beat of my mind go drifting into time passages. Yes, go falling in the fading light. Time passages.
Since our beginning in 1852, we have survived 5 wars, 26 administrations, 3 monetary systems, and a Great Depression.
Time passages.
Throughout it all, we have continued to wish holiday joy to our families and yours. The First National Bank of the Quad Cities.
1:38 remaining in the third quarter for the Ithaca Bombers. They have the ball at the 10-yard line. Here's a pitch back on a sweep to the left side to Sean Youth, and Youth gets across the 10-yard line. Ithaca has gone with Mike Midoff for the first time in this game. He's number 12 and a new quarterback for Ithaca, 6'2", 195, a junior from Pine City, New York, a left-hander.
Sometimes you got to change, you know, the one that brought you the dance not working, change quarterbacks. He's got the same capabilities as Cass, a little bit better thrower, good on the option, not quite as good as Cass, but a better passer.
Midaw will throw the ball down the field. It has been picked off, intercepted by Kevin Camille, who makes his second interception of the season. And Midaw put the ball up, and Camille picked it off.
Like I said, he's a better passer. Through the interception, he hasn't warmed up all that much. He's not been in the ball game. Left-handed passer, rolling to his right, which is a little bit odd and a very difficult throw. He threw it over as his intended receiver, Minturn. He got hit very hard right at the end of the play. Watch him as he extended and gets struck down by Brian King, number 77, and that's why he threw the bad pass.
So the Vikings have the ball back at the Ithaca 33-yard line, and here now is a halfback option pass. It looked like Price wanted to throw, but instead he'll run the football. He is hit hard at the 30-yard line. He was hit very hard there. But originally they were going to throw the football, but apparently Price thought better of it and got the ball to the 29-yard line.
Last play game, 4 yards.
Boy, I tell you, Augustana's coming out of their shell to be able to throw a play like that. They want to throw an option pass. I mean, this is not the conservative, one-dimensional football team that everyone thought they were.
I think Bob Reed wanted to take advantage of that win.
Sure.
With 30 seconds to play third quarter. He says, we're going to pass. Let's do it now. And here they are. As Wallace gets the ball out to Price into the flank to the left side, out into the flat to the 24-yard line. So Reed was really running against the clock here because he knows in about 15 seconds he's got to go into the win.
Well, and again, Ithaca's inviting the pass. They're content to continue to put all the men on the line of scrimmage and force the Augustana team out of their game plan.
So that's the end of 3 quarters of today's Stagg Bowl game, the Division III National Championship. And it's Augustana 12 and Ithaca nothing.
Augustana College, synonymous with excellence and achievement in education, in athletics. More than 2,000 young men and women from 32 states and 14 countries study at Augustana. 3/4 of them come from the top quarter of their high school classes. And as seniors, 95% of them go directly into graduate schools or careers following graduation. Superior students appreciate superior faculty. At Augustana, more than 80% hold doctoral degrees. Achievement in the classroom is matched by achievement in athletics. 9 out of 10 Augustana students participate in either varsity or intramural sports. Both men and women participate in NC2A Division III competition. Within the College Conference of Illinois and Wisconsin, Augustana has won more championships representing all sports than any other college in the league. Augustana's football team competing today has compiled a record of 36 consecutive victories, an achievement gained without a single athletic scholarship. In athletics, in education, Augustana means excellence.
There you see for Ithaca, number 40, an academic All-American in business management, Brian Doherty. He's also one of 10 children, 6 foot, 178 senior, a Letterman, strong safety, trying to really rally his troops here. And on the other side of the ball, Steve Sanders, an academic All-American in mathematics and computer science.
3.95 major. Great point. And an NCAA scholar, hopefully.
Is that what yours, 3.95?
I was not quite 3.9, but I was better than 3 point.
Good.
Third down 3.
Thank you.
What was the major?
Intermediate basket weaving. No, I was a history major with a minor in business.
Third down, 3 yards to go. This is Wallace handing it off to Guerrero, and he is hipping and ripping his way to around the 21-yard line. They're huddling to keep warm and to cheer on the Augustana Vikings.
Look at those shorts. Now see, I don't know.
He's probably a 3.9 too. He's probably highly intelligent in the classroom. So Ithaca trails 12-0. And they're trying to stop this penetration here now by the Augustana Vikings. The Vikings have the ball. The Ithaca 21-yard line. Wallace gives it off to Shane McCormick. McCormick gets a couple of yards. He has a touchdown in this game as well. Bring up second down. 10 yards to go.
One of the worst fears of the Ithaca defensive coaches was the simple fact that if Augustana could control and overpower Ithaca's defense, and that's what's happened. They've really dominated, controlled the clock, the ball, and really have physically assaulted Ithaca.
Price and McCormick are the running backs, and this is Price straight ahead. He's got running room, and he bolts inside the 10-yard line to the 8-yard line. It's a 13-yard run for Brad Price.
Again, the offensive line, powerful. They get good surge, good block. Both he's 65, really the center, the freshman center again, puts him into the secondary. The poor tackle was in there by Brian Doherty, and then, let's see, was it? Yeah, Doherty, I guess, made the poor tackle and then forced Farrell 45 to make the stick.
So it's first and goal to go for the Augustana Vikings with a 12-0 lead. They've got the ball at the 8-yard line. Wallace hands the ball off to McCormick, powers his way down to around the 6. Shane McCormick, 190-pound, a junior. A couple of big games already this year for McCormick. 119 yards against Illinois Benedictine, 115 yards against Central Iowa. 855 yards coming into today's game on the season for Shane McCormick. 46 yards in the afternoon, nearly 4 yards per carry. The Augustana fullback. Second and goal to go for the Vikings, the 6-yard line. On the low angle, you look at Greg Wallace quarterbacking Augustana. There again is Price. And Price gets to around the 3-yard line. So Brad Price gets the ball inside the Ithaca Bomber 5-yard line.
The Ithaca coaches felt like that Augustana's offensive line was the best that they've seen all season. They just don't get worn down. They were real concerned that they would be physically, if they came into the fourth quarter and that they were behind and the physical assault, they were real concerned about not being able to bear up or stand up to the pressure of this offensive line that's very much physical and very strong.
So it's third down and goal to go. This is Wallace keeping the ball, trying to get outside, and he'll get in for the touchdown. Greg Wallace scoring the third touchdown of the afternoon for Augustana. The Vikings have now opened up an 18-0 lead.
Outstanding execution by Greg Wallace, the quarterback. It's off of the belly series. Now it's the option play. Watch Jamie Rosen, 46. He's got pitch responsibilities. He's got to stay outside. That's why you see the quarterback, Greg Wallace, waltz into the end zone. The option play will cause people to be disciplined. You have to take responsibilities. It forces you to do that. It costs them a touchdown.
They're going for 2. Wallace trying to pass into the corner of the end zone. He's got a man, Eric Welgat. They say he's inbounds. He makes the grab. He apparently tight-roped the sideline. Give him 2. And with 12:07 to play in the third quarter, there's a timeout. Augustana widens its lead. It's the Vikings 20 and the Bombers nothing.
Hawk fans, only 18 seats remain on Activate's Rose Bowl trip. Call South Park Travel now or be left out. South Park Travel and Activate have the best Rose Bowl package in the area. Round-trip air, Moline to L.A., including all transfers, 5 nights at the Mayfair Hotel, reserved seats for the parade, reserved tickets for the game, escorts, transfers to and from every event while you're in Pasadena, all for just $8.59. Air only an incredibly low $4.89. Call South Park Travel now. This really is the best Rose Bowl package in town, and only 18 seats remain.
Maybe when he was little, Davenport's Roger Craig daydreamed about being a sportscaster.
Cisco Chicago needs wins in order to...
And a young Jim Albrecht thought about growing up to be a sports superstar. Albrecht scores again! But look how things turned out.
It's Roger Craig. For the best sports report around, watch Jim on Activate.
What's that, Dan Marino in the Super Bowl?
Watch Jim Albrecht on Activate Sports.
John Layton into the football for Augustana. Short kick. Coming down, it's a fumbled ball, but then recovered by John Anglem. The ball hit off Craig Chiesa. It dropped to the turf and then recovered by Ithaca. So they avoided a disaster there as John Anglem fell on the ball, number 8. 12:05 remains. That was a 33-yard drive and 8 plays that consumed nearly 4 minutes for Augustana. And it opened a 20-0 lead. Mike Middaugh back into the game as the quarterback. His last pass was intercepted. This time's a pitch back, a sweep to Sean Almeida, a halfback making his first appearance in this game. Almeida is a junior out of West Fairmouth, Massachusetts, who has been tremendous in the playoffs with 104 yards against Montclair State and 101 yards last week against Gettysburg.
Second down 8 from the 29.
He's had 2 big rushing performances.
What they like about Almeida is the fact that he can play both tailback and fullback in their offensive attack, and he's a consistent athlete in the sense that he really goes full speed every single time.
Picked up 2, so it's 2nd and 8 from the 29. Middaugh looks in the flat. Got a man, Hoffman. Mike Hoffman with a 34-yard line.
Pass complete to Mike Hoffman.
Hoffman with 4.5 speed once he gets out into the clear, but he was working on the short side of the field this time.
Ithaca has changed its entire backfield with Middaugh at quarterback, with Hoffman at the fullback or halfback position, and then Almeida. They've changed and kind of changed up who brought them to the dance, evidently.
But they haven't been able to change the music in this game.
That's exactly right. Well said.
They're changing partners, but the music remains the same.
Oh,
ooh, big hit there. Brian King, 6 foot 220 nose guard, was really blasting through. Question is, did he do it legally or not?
Boy, I like Brian King. He's a linebacker in high school, excellent speed, ideal nose guard, very active player. I don't know that you've seen UCLA play this year, but Terry Toomey is a little kid from Tulsa, Oklahoma that plays nose guard for UCLA, extremely quick. And really, when I look at Brian King, I see the same type of athlete. He generally doesn't go head up very much because what they've got to do is they've got to give him angles. And when he's at those angles and in the seams and in the cracks, he's able to be very effective. And that time he was able to take advantage of a little center.
So the Bombers have a first down, 39-yard line. Mike Middaugh looking and looking. Deep down the field. Incomplete. Minturn was well covered down the field. Mike Gray was on the play, along with Tom Westerman covering.
The job of a nose guard is to be relentless, to fight, to struggle, to find a way to get to that quarterback, to keep fighting, and that's the life of a nose guard. You just get frustrated, and you just have to be relentless. Keep coming, keep coming. Many times, most of the time, you don't get there, but the point is be relentless and fight through it. That's the frustration of being a nose guard so much. Gosh, I wish I'd been a nose guard.
Yeah, you like that nose guard. You like to be, put your nose where the ball is. 2nd and 10 for the Bombers. Mike Middaugh retreats under pressure. Screen pass, Almeida had it and dropped it. Had he caught the ball, he would have suffered about a 5 or 10-yard loss because Augustana had to play well defensed. They were pressuring the quarterback, but yet they were able to still cover wide in the flat.
They really have the strength. Watch the linebackers react. Ricketts, number 53, is on the blitz. He comes inside, forces Mendahl to have to throw to his backside, hoping that no one would be there. There's Lynn Thompson, number 82, an excellent player. He's never lost a football game, quick, intelligent. He really was a division. They felt like he's a Division I player, but he got hurt his senior year.
So it's 3rd and 10. The Bombers must do it quickly here now. 10.5 minutes to play in the game, and there's George Mack over the middle, inside the 40, inside the 30, and caught from behind as Middall teams up with Mack down to the 26-yard line. That's their biggest gain of the day.
The key to the ball game is the fact that they've got those speed receivers. They've not been able to hit them. They've got one man going out and inside. There's Mack, number 21. He's got tremendous speed. He's the fastest receiver. They've just not been able to put the ball in the hands of their big play receivers. That's been the key to the game. They've got to throw the ball down the field.
And that time Middall did just that. Middall, a transfer from Lafayette, playing for Ithaca. The left-hander hooked up with Mack to give them first down at the Augie 26-yard line. Keep the ball on the ground here on this rushing attempt for a couple of yards. 9:55 remaining in the game. Augustana leading Ithaca by a score of 20-0. So with the ball for Ithaca on the Augustana 21-yard line, Mike Middall brings his team to the line of scrimmage. Running backs are split double wide to the right side. Middall under heavy pressure finds it Lynch over the middle, and Lynch will go in for the score. They were heavy pursuit on Middall, who stayed in the pocket and found Lynch, who makes his 3rd touchdown reception of the season, and Ithaca has gotten on the scoreboard.
Lynch is the kid that's the intelligent kid, runs the good patterns every time. The coaches just love him, and what happens, the two defensive backs break on the particular seams, take an improper route towards the receiver, and he frees open.
Nick Guerrera, 25 of 30 on the PAT tries, puts this one up and through, and Ithaca on the scoreboard with 9:28 to play in the game. There's timeout on the field with the score, Augustana 20, Ithaca 7.
Samuel's Jewelers has hundreds of ways to engage her, with rings as big on value as they are on love. Engage her deliciously. Engage her colorfully. Engage her sweetly. Engage her refreshingly. Engage her cuddly. And just because it's from us, it won't cost you any more. Choose your ring from Samuel's Jewelers and live happily ever after.
The Fighting Illini are going to the Peach Bowl. And as always, the bowl specialists, South Park Travel, have put together the best possible package at the best possible price, just $5.29. Activate and South Park Travel sweep you round-trip air on Ozark, Moline to Atlanta. Then you spend 3 nights at the accommodating Crown Plaza. Reserve game tickets, all transfers and exchanges taken care of, escort services, and the works. But don't delay. Call now. South Park Travel is booking fans as you hear this message, and this trip is filling up fast.
Defensive backs have to realize where they are on the field in position to the receiver. Watch Lynch, number 24, breaks across the middle. Now the defensive backs, they've got to realize what angle to take them. There's one man misses him, and he frees into the end zone. Being aware of where that receiver is on the field. Cost them a touchdown. They gave up 7 points.
So 2 key passes that time in the Ithaca drive. Middall teaming up with Mack, which got them the good field position, and then the scoring strike there to Lynch. Guerrero. The onside kick a try may be successful as the Bombers have recovered the ball. It must go 10 yards. It went 13, and they fell on the ball. So now with still a lot of time left, renewed momentum for the Ithaca Bombers.
It takes luck as a kicker to get the right kind of bounce. Watch the bounce they get. It's got to go 10 yards. Now, if you're Augustana, get there. Don't wait on the ball. You've got to be the aggressor. Go to the ball. You know it's got the momentum to go 10 yards. Be there and cover it. Mistake mentally on Augustana's part. Great break for Ithaca.
At the Augustana 47-yard line is where Middall directs his team. Running play, Mike Hoffman breaks a tackle, loses the ball to the 41-yard line as they've got it back. The Augustana Vikings pick up the loose football. The Vikings, Carlton Beasley there after Hoffman had broke a tackle.
Hoffman breaks the tackle. The tackler gets him up high, startles him, I believe. The ball gets away from his body. Watch this. The ball right there, his hands, he was trying to switch hands as he broke loose from the tackle, and he fumbles the ball.
So they had a break, recovering the onside kick, and now they return the favor. The Vikings get it back at their own 40-yard line. Wallace hands the ball off to McCormick. He's up to the 49-yard line. Shane McCormick to the 49. Clock becoming a factor, very much so in this game, with Ithaca trailing by 2 scores. They had an opportunity a moment ago, but they've turned it over. Dennis Frakes runs into the game for Augustana, brings the play in from Bob Reed on the sidelines, and Frakes will now line up in that wing-back position on the right. Second down, a yard to go. Just shy of the midfield stripe. First down, off left tackle. McCormick on his second rush gets it to the Ithaca 47. So the Vikings with a 20-7 advantage, picking up a first down, keeping the clock running. Ithaca territory at the 47. Guerreri, number 27, joins the huddle. Wing back on the right side. McCormick and Price are the split backs. Wallace at quarterback hands the ball off to Price, who is hit right now at the 46-yard line. Bob Reed, 53 years old, looking today for his 69th win against only 8 losses, 89%. Tremendous winning percentage. As I mentioned, he was also an outstanding high school football coach in the Illinois high school system. He had 146 victories at J.D. Darnell High School in Geneseo, Illinois. Included 52 consecutive triumphs. Second and 9. Running back, Frakes. Upended at the 46, no gain on the play. Going to bring up third down.
You were talking about Bob Reed, Nick. He really is an excellent football coach, highly motivated, very self-confident. His teams reflect an unemotional type approach to the game, and that's much the style that he is in his own personality, but he's a great definer of responsibilities. His coaches that talk about him say that they really have their job responsibilities clearly defined, and so it's easy to coach for him and with him, and he coaches his area, and his assistant coaches have their responsibilities.
This is Price trying to sweep right. McCormick with a great block, and Price takes advantage, but then Ithaca quickly converged as Kevin Farrell there was able to make a play on Price, but that time McCormick was out ahead, but couldn't quite spring him.
The linebackers really have to be the players in a situation like this. They are having to chase from inside out. What happens, rather than flow down the line of scrimmage and keep their depth, they were in a blitz situation, so they had to chase from behind, and it was just pursuit on the part of the linebackers. You got to guess when you're behind, running out of time. You've got to take chances. They took chance, and it almost worked.
Pete Minturn is back, standing inside his 20-yard line to receive this John Layton punt. Layton will hit it near the midfield stripe, and will hit it into a slight breeze. Calling for the ball, low snap. Gets the kickoff. Minturn angling to the sideline. The ball coming down inside the 15 and rolling to a stop, trickling down to the 11-yard line. 5:55 remaining in the game. There's timeout with the score Augustana 20 and Ithaca 7.
Activate and Augustana College would like to take this opportunity to thank First National Bank of the Quad Cities, True Value Hardware, John Deere, Hardee's, and all of the sponsors who participated in bringing you tonight's taped presentation of last Saturday's Augustana-Ithaca game. Again, Augustana College and WQAD-TV wish to thank First National Bank of the Quad Cities, True Value Hardware, John Deere, Hardee's, and all other participating sponsors. You're invited to join Activate's Alan Savell for dinner every Thursday night.
That's right. Every week I get dressed up and show you where to find a good meal. From fancy to family style, each Thursday, I'll tell you about another special eating spot you just might like to try.
It's tough being a gastronomical barometer, but it's a job that grows on you.
Hey, are my shoes untied? Could somebody see if my
Watch
shoes...
Dining Out, Thursdays at 10 on the Active 8 News.
Mike Middaugh brings his troops to the line of scrimmage. The left-hander, junior out of Pine City, New York, will throw the ball. He's got a man open, Minturn at the 30-yard line, maybe the 31. Pickup of about 18 yards, enough for an Ithaca first down. 5:52 remaining. Steve, we hear so much criticism of a situation like this where you get in that prevent, you get a little soft. A lot of people say, junk the prevent defense. Not that Augustana's in one, but you see a lot of huge chunks picked up that way.
Well, that's really, of course, they can afford to give up huge chunks right now because they've had Ithaca really backed up all day long, and they've not been able to have any really be effective at all on offense. So they can afford right now the luxury of knowing that they've got the clock in their favor, field position in their favor. You know, just don't give them the big play.
Mack was the intended receiver there who could not come up with that pass. And so it is second down and 10 yards to go for the Ithaca Bombers at their own 31-yard line. Well, the Bombers with an 11-4 playoff record. This is a record 5th Stagg Bowl game appearance for Ithaca. They were the 1979 national champions. Middaugh scrambling away from Robert Woolridge. Throws over the middle to Minturn. Minturn to the 45. Hurdles to the 48-yard line. A 17-yard gain from Middaugh to Minturn.
What made the play is the ability of Middaugh, number 12, the quarterback, to get out of the grasp of the Augustana people, to get out of their area of pursuit and to find the open man, to find across the middle, to find Minturn, number 27. They just give the quarterback time. The quarterbacks have open receivers.
Double wide right, a split man to the left. 3 wide receivers, and Middaugh comes right, throws to the sideline, but can't connect with Jim Lynch, number 24. Number 39 was Mark Long, the strong safety covering. Middaugh's also a very fine baseball pitcher, and that's not surprising. He throws the ball well in football, and 6-1, they say, is his record as a baseball pitcher on this Ithaca baseball team. They'll have to throw a strike here, though, because it is 2nd and 10. The 48-yard line. He's got 98 yards today on 5 of 10. Coming down, it's intercepted by Kevin Camille. It was intended for Minturn, and Camille comes up and takes it away at the 40-yard line.
Augustana takes over on their own 40-yard line.
You know they're going to throw the ball. Camille's on this down at the bottom of your screen. He's playing center field. He's out of position. If the ball were thrown accurately and with a little bit more velocity on the ball, it would have been a completed pass and possibly a big gain. But he threw it. Soft touch. Camille was able to play center field and make the catch.
Not much that Jim Butterfield can do, as you saw him with crossed arms on the sidelines. Here's a pitch to Brad Price, trying to get outside. Tucks the ball up and crosses the 45-yard line, near the 45-yard line. Again, 4:50 left in this fourth quarter, and Augustana a 20-7 lead. And with the Vikings having the ball, they're in control here. No question about it.
Nothing would please Bob Reed more than to be able just to control the clock, to take away any last hope on the part of Ithaca, to just kick opportunities, 1st and 10s. There's the turnover ratio. Augustana's turned it over a bunch, but
it hasn't hurt them yet.
Hasn't hurt.
2nd and 6. There's a handoff to Shane McCormick. McCormick gets to the 50-yard line, right in the center of the field, right in the middle of the NCAA logo. Just another day at the office for Bob Reed. His club comfortably ahead now, 20-7. And with 4:05 to play in the game, we'll return following this timeout.
Hawk fans, only 18 seats remain on Active 8's Rose Bowl trip. Call South Park Travel now or be left out. South Park Travel and Active 8 have the best Rose Bowl package in the area. Round-trip air, Moline to L.A., including all transfers, 5 nights at the Mayfair Hotel, reserved seats for the parade, reserved tickets for the game, escorts, transfers to and from every event while you're in Pasadena, all for just $8.59. Air only an incredibly low $4.89. Call South Park Travel now. This really is the best Rose Bowl package in town, and only 18 seats remain.
My mother still tells me to drink milk every day. But that's okay. You see, when she broke her hip last year, we found out she had osteoporosis, a bone-thinning disease that affects 1 of every 4 women over 60. Mom knows now she probably could have prevented it by eating foods high in calcium and vitamin D and by exercising regularly. And now that she knows, she's made sure I know. Because to prevent osteoporosis, you've got to start when you're still young.
Jim Butterfield and company. Not a happy sideline right now for the Ithaca Bombers, but an outstanding season for Ithaca. 11-1 coming into today's game. And a record 5th straight Stagg Bowl appearance. The Bombers in blue on the defense right now. This is Price. Price getting to around the 46-yard line, maybe the 47. Three and a half minutes and counting down for the Augustana Vikings. They scored early in the second quarter on a 1-yard touchdown by fullback Shane McCormick. Then got the ball following an Ithaca turnover, and on the first play they struck quickly as Greg Wallace teamed up on a 23-yard scoring pass to Eric Welgat. It was a 12-0 lead. And then later in this fourth quarter, Greg Wallace ran a score in for himself, a touchdown. This is Frakes, the ball carrier. Dennis Frakes, not much going there, at around the 47-yard line. Now a timeout has been called on the field. The Bombers have called for a timeout. 2:54 remaining in the game. With the score, Augustana 20, Ithaca 7.
Captain Kirk, you interfere with me, you'll change history.
Star Trek, Monday at 4.
That's the evening news. Good night.
You're the kind of person that wants to know more. You have to understand an issue and how it affects your life. The 700 Club is different. We know what you want. Host Pat Robertson and a team of dedicated journalists follow stories through to their conclusions, so you'll have the final word on major news events. There's one more thing that's different. Telephones are staffed nationwide 24 hours a day so you can get answers.
Watch the 700 Club Monday through Thursday at midnight.
So it's 3rd down, 8 yards to go for Augustana at the Ithaca 48. Wallace wanting to throw the ball, and he is rustled down. Thrown down by Tim Torrey, the All-American outside linebacker, a senior from Avon, New York, made the big play.
They say Tim Torrey wears size 15 shoes, so he doesn't get knocked off his feet. He's got a pretty good foundation. This time finally gets to Greg Wallace. Really, Tim's not been a factor today. They've been well controlled. That time he's able to bulldog Greg Wallace down.
He gets the sack on Wallace, his first sack today. He had 21 sacks coming into this game.
Well, again, to be able to control both McCormick, the other outside linebacker, and Torrey are excellent players, and they've really not been factors today.
So the Vikings in their huddle on 4th and 8 yards to go, and 2:44 remaining in this game. Pete Minturn is back in single punt safety for Ithaca. Layton called for the ball at around his 35-yard line. Troy Westerman is the blocking back, the up back here on this punt. Layton hits the ball, hits it high, but the wind stops it. The punter's not having good averages today. It's tough to punt in that gale force. And so the Bombers will have the ball at the 47-yard line. 2:35 remaining in the game. Reed clapping with a 20-7 lead. He's happy, and rightfully so. There are the numbers, and they've been all Augustana Vikings in this game. Lynch is in the slot to the right. Minturn is wide to the right. George Mack is wide to the left. Midoff facing a passing situation, putting it upstairs. Coming down to the sideline and nearly picked off by The Augustana Viking strong safety who was there on the play, Mark Long, he may have been looking upfield because he could have had 6 if he'd have hung on to that one.
Breaks up the pass.
Mark Long, number 39, the strong safety, decides to go for the ball. He's just jumped almost right in front of the receiver, take it away from Jim Lynch, but couldn't quite hang on to it. A little bit slow getting to the ball. That would have been a touchdown.
So it's 2nd and 10. 47-yard line for the Ithaca Bombers. Mike Middaugh, the left-hander, looking down. He's got Mack at the 40, and he's down at the 41-yard line is where George Mack goes down.
For the first down.
Mack came in with 15 receptions in this season.
From the 41.
Bombers quickly coming back to the line of scrimmage. A no-huddle offense here with time running out. Middaugh goes to the sideline. It's incomplete. It'll stop the clock. 2:16 remaining. George Mack was the intended receiver there. Mack's a junior. He'll be back next year for Ithaca. So will quarterback Mike Middaugh. And all of their running backs, Macri, Hoffman, Almeida, and Booth, are eligible to return next year. 2nd and 10. Middaugh looking. It's incomplete. Minturn was the receiver intended, but there was good coverage by Camille and Long.
Brings up 3rd down, 10 from the 41.
So it'll be for the Ithaca Bombers here now. 3rd down, 10 yards to go. As they send Mack now again wide to the left side, you get a good low-angle look here at the quarterback. Mike Middaugh off the bench, replacing Steve Cass. Middaugh scrambling. He's to the line of scrimmage and then is forced out of bounds. At around the 37-yard line, a gain of 4 on the scramble by Mike Middaugh. 2:03 remaining.
Last play gain 4 yards. 4th down 6 from the 37.
Jim Butterfield still coaching right down to the very end here. Sending the play in there now on 4th down, 6 yards to go. Bob Reed here is pretty much an observer at this point, an interested observer at that. His ball club executing a 20-7 lead at this point. 4th and 6, perhaps the final play of the season for Ithaca. Middaugh throwing. He's got a man, Minturn, and Minturn is at the 30-yard line. It should be enough for a 1st down. And Middaugh was in heavy traffic, and Minturn, as he has so often today, found himself in the middle and got open.
Again, outstanding performance by Middaugh, the quarterback, to be able to get away from the Augustana pressure, to go right and then back to go left, and then to throw the ball. Uh-oh.
There's a quick play back to action here now, and it's going to be Augustana coming up with 1:38 to play in the game. The Vikings in control here. As there's an exchange here on the field. Yeah, we're down to, as you see there on the scoreboard clock here at the Phoenix Municipal Stadium, just a minute and a half remaining. And so the Vikings have it back on that turnover.
Mark Long, 39, was the player that intercepted it. I guess they had to give him a present before he turned 28.
1st and 10, Augustana from their own 43.
So from their 42-yard line, that's where they have the football. The Vikings going to run the ball out to around the 45-yard line. Short gain on the play.
Play gain 2 yards.
Picked up a couple. It'll be 2nd down and 8 yards to go. Under a minute and a half to play in this game. Hope you've enjoyed our telecast today from Phoenix City, Alabama. I'd like to take this opportunity to thank our championship media coordinator, Rebecca Todd, athletic director Bob Deming of Ithaca College, head football coach Jim Butterfield and his staff, sports information director Amy Doonan. And from Augustana, athletic director John Farewell, head football coach Bob Reed and his staff, and sports information director Dave Rabb. Under a minute to play in the game, and here's a running play straight ahead. It's Price getting to the 44-yard line. Picked up about 14 yards, running straight into the interior of the Bomber defense.
On the Ithaca 45.
Vikings have a first down, the 44-yard line. Bob Reed, time to celebrate now. That's about as much as emotion you're going to get from Bob Reed, but you know deep down inside he is bubbling over. And another outstanding performance capped here today by an unprecedented third straight national championship victory by the Augustana Vikings. This is the fourth consecutive year in which they've played in this game. It is the third straight year in which they have won the game. And the clock momentarily paused with 18 seconds. Ithaca has called for a timeout with 18 seconds left. But Jim Butterfield has been here before, and perhaps with a team experiences this, may return yet again someday for Ithaca College.
It's interesting, of all the players that Coach Reed went to, he went to Mark Long, number 39, the player that made the interception, the 27-year-old veteran player, out of school 4 years, very mature, married with a child, wins the national championship his senior year.
It's almost like Brett Saberhagen there. He had a great season in baseball, had a child in the championship, and now Mark Long can realize some of that very same feelings here. An NCAA title for his team, the Augustana Vikings, as the quarterback, Greg Wallace, takes one knee to the floor of the field, and that's going to be the final play of the game. You see the final ticks of the clock here as the Augustana Vikings, in celebration, jubilantly come to the center of the field. The Ithaca Bombers also come to the field. That's it. This game is all over. Your final score, the Augustana Vikings, the national champions, 20, the Ithaca Bombers, 7.
Hawk fans, only 18 seats remain on Activate's Rose Bowl trip. Call South Park Travel now or be left out. South Park Travel and Activate have the best Rose Bowl package in the area. Round-trip air, Moline to L.A., including all transfers, 5 nights at the Mayfair Hotel, reserved seats for the parade, reserved tickets for the game, escorts, transfers to and from every event while you're in Pasadena, all for just $8.59. Air only, an incredibly low $4.89. Call South Park Travel now. This really is the best Rose Bowl package in town, and only 18 seats remain.
On the next exciting episode of Thundercats, the evil mutants send their war robot Warbot out to destroy the superheroes' cat's lair.
What is that?
Can Lion-O return to Thundera and retrieve the plans to stop the war machine from his father?
They might prove useful.
Before the Warbot destroys the mighty Thundercats fortress. Find out on the next Thundercats. Oh! Thundercats.
Feel the power, Monday at 3:30. The Activate News Quiz could pay off big for you. Each weekday during the 6 o'clock news, we give you the answer to the day's quiz. Then, we make random calls to numbers from phone books in the Activate viewing area. If you're not listed in any book, you can become eligible by sending a postcard with your name, address, and phone number. If you know the answer to the quiz when we call, you win the cash prize. It could be hundreds of dollars. It pays to watch the Activate News. We salute the Crime Stopper programs for giving the spirit of involvement a chance to grow. Over 200 arrests have been made with a conviction rate of 100% through the Moline area Crime Stoppers alone. Many thanks to those whose information has helped solve a crime.
Augustana Vikings, the national champions. And Steve, a quick comment on this one.
Well, as we said at the beginning of the ball game, Augustana was able to establish themselves and control the ball game. Ithaca was never able to really take them out of their character.
Steve, I've enjoyed working with you. Hope to do it again sometime.
A lot of fun.
For Steve Davis, this is Mick Hubert saying so long from Phoenix City, Alabama. The final score today, the Augustana Vikings 20, the Ithaca Bombers 7. This has been an NCAA Productions telecast.